Gary's just pre-show here. Gary said I was late, but he's got to tend to something now. Anyway, welcome to the Thursday night forum. Excitement's building. The preseason is loading, and Alonzo, welcome to the show.
Hey Ray, hey Stan, hello Gary. What is up? Looking forward to talking to you guys about the upcoming preseason highlights and see who's incoming and outgoing. So good to be here on a Thursday night.
Stan has returned. Thanks for being here, Stan.
Hi. I was recharging the old batteries on the beach in Mexico for the last week, which was thoroughly enjoyable. But it's good to be back. Season is also closing in, and I can't wait for the season to start proper. Good evening to everybody.
Yeah, can't wait for the season to start properly. We have to enjoy this time, this period. We don't know what the I keep talking about this window that we have, right? We have a window of opportunity under Mikel Arteta, and we have a window of opportunity under players like Xhaka, who are coming to the fore in the team. And we built our team up over a number of transfer windows. So, now's the time, Alonso, and I think we need to start. We have been enjoying the last two seasons, but let's, that's my advice anyway. Let's enjoy the trip and the journey here, Alonso.
I'm excited. I think there's a lot of anticipation with where this team is going. We have a few stragglers here and there coming along for the ride, as you say, Ray and Gary. And it seems like you slowly gotten the pieces together to fall into place. Of course, we always had an injury worry with some players, but it is what it is. We have starters now where we know who we could depend on and who come along the end of the games and become back to rotate players in and out. And this Arteta has finally learned how to do that. So, really excited about how the players that went to Europe and Copa America have come back, and they seem ready to go. Seems like this is kind of the feeling we need as supporters to see how we're at before the season starts. And I think it's clear now that we're slowly starting to get players that can't no longer compete for a certain position or even be on a bench to get sold and moved on. And it seems like we've done that part pretty early. I think we still have business to take care of amongst transfer window type stuff. And I'm sure Arteta and do have a few pieces here and there up their sleeve.
Yeah, indeed. Welcome, Michael, and Rudy in the house as well. Thanks for joining, guys. Vieira's looking sharp, Stan. So Fabio Vieira got a start yesterday.
Well, for disclosure, I didn't get an opportunity to see the game yesterday because I was at work. As at the time, I think it was like a 10 o'clock kickoff in the morning here, so I couldn't really get online to see any of that.
Yeah. Well, Michael's reporting in. Fabio Vieira, teabag, is.
Yeah, I mean, I did hear a report in another game that he had an opportunity in, and I think it was on the Chronicles of Laguna. It may have been the previous friendly, and the report wasn't as good. So if you're telling me that he had a good showing, I mean, he hasn't really had a pre-season with Arsenal yet, has he, since he's been with us? So it's important for him to, have a good showing this pre-season and put himself in the frame, because as much as when we look at the transfer market, I know there's talks of midfielders and left eights and other personnel. Sometimes we forget that we do have this guy here. So there is room for him to still put a stamp on a starting position or a position that comes off the bench more regularly in this team. There is a gap, and it's up to him to try and force himself in.
Yeah, indeed. As we go to Gary and to add to what Stan said, we have a first 11 that we can put out on the field, and we have some hungry academy players, and we have some additions that can come in, Calafiori, and maybe Mikel Mourinho, and maybe a forward player still to come in 2 weeks. So there's room somewhere in the middle, Gary. We've been talking about this. All of us have been talking about this. We can build out the squad from the bottom right to the top.
Bottom meaning
Huh?
bottom meaning what?
The bottom meaning, the likes of Fabio Vieira. Let's be honest about this. Fabio Vieira has not pulled up any trees in 2 seasons that he's been here. So this is a big season for Fabio Vieira. Who else? One area, and for different reasons. A young academy player who's likely to get some starts in the Premier League. And so between those 2 players in the first 11, first 12 that are going to start most games, there's opportunities to improve the level of the squad.
Yep. We've been talking about raising the floor, right? And that's basically where we are right now.
Yeah.
There are spots for starters, but we have to bring those. I think we have to bring those players in. I don't know if we have any potential starters right now in our squad that weren't there last season. So yeah, bringing up the floor definitely helps because we need the depth, we need rotation, right?
Yeah.
And if anybody, like if they're like no more passengers, we can't afford people that Arteta does not want. I mean, I don't think he can afford to have players sitting on the bench that he won't go to. There's got to be players that he has to trust, or else what are they doing here? And that's kind of my thing. So, for me, the academy kids look really good in the preseason. As you said, Fabio Vieira. It's, and Wary looks much better than him as far as being calm and poised on the pitch. He looks a lot better to me at his age. He's probably maybe not ready for it yet, but he still looks pretty poised on the ball and stuff like that. I mean, that was
what position does he play? Is he playing Odegaard's position?
He can play Odegaard's position. I think he was playing as a wing as well. So
yeah,
I think as you know, Arteta doesn't. When you go and talk to Arteta and you tell him what you like to play, hopefully there's more than one option, right? Unless you're Saka, unless you're Saliba, Gabriel, Odegaard. I mean, not too many people elsewise don't have to play in multiple positions. Everybody has to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Partey gets it because he's an old man, right? Jorginho gets it because he's an old man. But I mean, if you're coming up in this squad, you need to be versatile because guess what? There'll be times when they're going to need you to play, and they're not going to need you, not in your preferred position. You've seen it. Pretty much everybody else plays wherever is needed, all right?
Yeah.
Ben White's got his spot, but everybody else, if you can't play elsewhere, then guess what? He don't like you.
And in some ways, when you ask Mikel Arteta a question, you don't really get an answer, which is kind of I'm kind of enjoying.
Hold on a minute, though. I mean, I think Alexander Zinchenko, notwithstanding, who can play somewhere else, but he's just not allowed to.
There's probably a reason for that, right?
That's my hot take for this summer, is that you will see Zinchenko play midfield.
I don't see it
this season. You'll see it.
Arteta does not show his cards. All right. Oh, sorry, he does show his cards. He just does. We just don't. We don't know what it is, but we see what he does, and I'd rather go by what I see than what I think he's going to do.
Yeah. Brownie.
He hasn't done it yet, and we've needed it, and we've needed it in important games that may have won games for us, may have won a trophy for us. He hasn't done it, so.
That's not a reason.
Yeah,
Brownie has relocated to Australia, Sydney. Morning, evening, right? It's early morning here. So I'm watching you while smashing the gym. I'm just getting visions of Mesut Ozil. I'm getting Brownie visions of Mesut Ozil.
Brownie on the lamb.
Yeah, Brownie is with his people, man. He said, "Look, when they didn't they leave England and ship him to Australia? He's like, he's making the trip. He just didn't take a boat."
It's like the old days, isn't it? When the English used to send their undesirables over Australia and then boats. Hulk boats.
Welcome, Tony. Rule has said the Saka position is not working for him, which is Fabio Vieira we're talking about. He needs the 8th position, but that will be difficult. I think he's going to have to force his way into the team with, performances, obviously, on the field.
I know you keep saying first 11, Ray, but I actually think that
Yeah.
We've only really got a first 9. I think there are 2 positions that are still not nailed down. Maybe one of them would be nailed down with Calafiori, but no one's really nailed down the left back position. There's been
Fair.
people in and out of there like a fucking merry-go-round.
Fair.
And then you got the left 8 position, and if that is going to be Declan Rice, then we need a 6. So there's 2 spots open. Do you know what I mean? Left back, left 8, stroke. Obviously, if Declan's there, then who's going to be the 6? Because is it Partey? Is it Jorginho?
So Stan, you don't trust Zinchenko as a left back?
No, I mean, no one seems, as of yet, though, Mikel Arteta doesn't seem to have given that position to a person. Like, we know that Ben White is the de facto right back, right? We know who the de facto centre backs are, but left back, do you know what I mean? It's like, take a ticket, you get a chance.
Yeah.
It's a mixed bag of crayons, right?
Mourinho's still not a done deal. We're going to talk about Mourinho tonight. I have to be careful not to pronounce it Mourinho, as in that.
Mourinho.
The area needs to add another 35 pounds to his weight. I think if you're technically good enough, you don't have to add that 35 pounds to his weight. So I think.
Look at Cazorla. Cazorla wasn't the biggest of people, was he? He was dinky. You know?
Yeah.
Good centre of gravity.
He was muscular, though. He had the body to go with him. Even though he was smaller, he still had the muscle.
So you need to just project your voice just a little bit for me. I don't know about the others, but I didn't quite hear that, Tony.
Hold on.
Did anyone else get that?
Right.
I don't get it when it's clear. What do you mean? When
When
it's clear,
Tony.
when it's clear,
You okay, Tony?
there's no interference. I'm still going. What are you talking about, my man? Tony,
This is true. Welcome, Lawrence, by the way. No striker, no title for Riddy, unfortunately. I think we can do this thing with false 9s, but I'd like to get a forward of some sort. And Abdi is back. Remember Abdi from last season? A lot of people agreeing with Riddy here. Striker is needed. I would say a forward of some description, shape, or form. Gary, just can't stop watching replay of Xhaka assist for the Havertz goal.
You know, there's no way I could have seen that, right? Because I didn't see it. So I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see that.
I didn't see a Xhaka assist. Brownie wearing budgie smugglers.
Yes.
Anyone hear about Man United's Wan-Bissaka telling United that they would need to pay up the contract if they want him to transfer to West Ham? Is this attitude more widespread than we? What attitude? What are we talking about here?
It looks different to different people, right? I mean, Cedric stayed around until his contract was up. He knew he wasn't going to play, so
They all do that, right? Come on.
It's different when you.
When the guy's out forever, then.
I think Arsenal, they kept it quiet, but other teams, it sounds like they don't care.
Full house tonight, indeed. There was 2 positions left to fill, and Tony and Lawrence filled them. We got our left back and we got our striker there. I like the new kids this season.
I would have been there, but I was fighting my t-shirt. I don't think you wanted a half-dress, Tony. So.
Tony, your mic's shit, man.
Yeah,
there's a lot of background noise. I don't know what it is.
Somebody had to say it, right? I mean, I think each one of us were thinking it's just us, But
did I say that out loud?
Yeah.
Of course you did, Stan.
Send the link you need. Send CDM. Is this Jose? He's willing to join. Is he willing to join the group? I think. I wonder. Could that be the reason as to why this transfer window is dead? Players refusing to move unless their club pays up the remainder of the contract. Yeah. Anyway.
Well,
How about that? Is that better?
You're Tony. You're talking. It's not. It's never better. What are you talking about?
Fuck you, Gary.
Oh, wow.
That was kind of rude. That was nice. Not nice at all. I was just telling the truth. You started being rude.
All right. So
It was politeness, Gary.
let's get this thing back on track.
The point is, can you hear me now? Is what the-
Stan,
There's still a lot of noise in the background. I don't know what mic.
It's
you're
not
using,
Tony,
but
it's someone else.
is Tony
Well,
trying to reconnect
Is
wires?
it coming
to
from
things?
Tony's mic or somebody else?
No, it's not. It's someone else's.
Not so. Okay. So
It must be mine. Must be mine. Sorry, my dinner's just come in. So
All right.
that's probably why. Yeah, just
no.
been having.
Okay, we'll see if it goes away or not.
All right.
It's probably me. I'm eating my dinner.
Trying to say,
What about
smack
that?
on his
Going back
nigger.
in.
So Ray,
Yes.
has Marino signed yet?
Well, no, not yet.
Yeah. I thought it was a done deal.
He doesn't have
Thought
the
he was-
shirt. It will be. It will
thought-
be.
Yeah.
Be calm. All right, Stan.
Yes.
News
Hey.
today. Do you like these things that come out about where Mikel Arteta shares a little bit too much? He's been talking about pickpockets in restaurants. Did you see that one?
Yeah, very briefly, somebody sent me something about it, but what is it? Some sort of a bonding thing that he'd come up with? Or
They were out eating in a restaurant, and he actually employed pickpockets within the restaurant to go and see if he could, lift Haaland out of Saliba's pockets. These
What was
kind
the-
of things, you know what I
What
mean?
was the purpose of the exercise?
To always be alert, ready for anything, and
That sounds like a bad trust exercise there. It's like, I'm going to drop backwards and you're going to catch me. Okay, I'll just let you hit the fucking ground.
yeah. So I mean, he's trying to relate it to the season, right? So if you're not alert at all times, a result like Fulham away from home can happen. A West Ham at home loss to West Ham can happen. If you're not
Isn't
ready
there
for
better
every
ways than that,
opportunity.
Come on, Ray. There's better ways of doing it. That's kind of a suspect thing to do. Players.
Yeah, fun, isn't it?
I still can't hear Tony
No.
very well.
Well, I can hear him.
Yeah, but
It's
I
got
can
me-
hear him, but I can't discern what words are coming through. You
Well,
know?
one thing, my mouse guy, hold on.
So Stan, this is following. This is
Can anybody
following on-
understand that? Somebody tell me what he said, please.
I'm gonna mute.
He's talking Oklahomian,
What?
Gary. He's talking Oklahomian.
You understand
That's
that?
it.
You're from the same region.
No, I'm from I live in Texas, but Gary. There's
Same
differences
region,
in
dude.
Oklahoma.
Same region. I didn't say same state.
The southwest side of Arsenal fan circle. Yeah.
Right.
You guys are close.
so-
You guys are like next door. If you don't understand
Okay.
them, who's gonna understand them? What-
Yeah. No. So Stan, it's Michael saying I think it's a thing of don't let City steal the title from you again.
Yeah, I get it now.
Okay.
Bit of fun, isn't it? You know,
Bit of fun, and it seems to tweak our rival fans.
more engaging than being sat facing a whiteboard. You know.
Yeah.
What would have happened if it was like one of the pickpockets? Someone had like caught up Ben White, and they turned around and gave him a right-hander. Then what?
I bet
No,
Ben
I
White
do.
wasn't caught with it. I think Havertz would have been maybe Leandro Trossard. He's talking to Anne Hathaway. He probably would have gotten his keys lifted there. You know what I mean?
He probably turned to Batman or something like that.
I think it's the thing of not letting City steal the title from you. So these are the things that Mikel Arteta. Yeah, I do have a job on my hands tonight to.
I like it. It's creative, isn't it? Creative way of getting the message across. Instead of just standing there at a whiteboard going, "Do not let," you know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you think of it, Gary?
Yeah, I guess like we would like to know what's going on in the head of his, right? So if the message is don't have that trophy get stolen again, it's a good message, right? But some of that's on him as well. I hope he's looking in the mirror when he says that, because he contributed to the 2 opportunities to win a trophy as well. So
Mhm.
the players
Did,
need
did,
to.
did he get pickpocketed during this exercise as well?
Who knows? You
All
know,
right,
he's the coach though, so probably not.
real quick,
Red and blue
we're gonna do
player.
this for Nick. So,
Yeah,
Tony,
Michael,
if you
hang on. Michael says he wouldn't have stolen from Kolasinac. Yeah, that
I
would have
wouldn't
been
have
in tears. That would have been in tears, man.
and it's no
Would have
coincidence
folded
that
him up like a deck chair.
Kolasinac and Ozil are separated now. So Ozil's in the gym, working out, and toning up his muscles there. All right. So if you're a professional player, Tony, what position would you play, Tony?
Probably defensive midfield.
Defensive
like
midfield. Okay. Gary, what position would you play?
Yeah, I like the probably defensive number 6.
Competition for Tony again.
Nice. Real nice.
Tony won't be able to keep up.
So our central defence, fucking hell.
Keep Tony out of the team.
Somebody's got to go to the bench. I need my water when I get there, and the towel, everything. Come on.
That's it.
Yeah.
You just see Tony pressing bringing the ball out from the back in his wheelchair.
Tony looks like that backup quarterback. He's got the mic and everything. He's ready for
running over the opposition. The ball's on his lap. Gets to the
Right,
goal and
that
throws it in.
That was merciless, Gary. That was cruel. But
Damn.
What I do?
he took his position.
I took his position. All right.
You already got away.
But I love it. I love it, Gary. Alonso, what position would you play?
I will play right back. Then when I'm hurt, I'll play as a third center back. So, yeah.
Stan.
That's a joke for Tony.
Well, growing up as a kid, my favourite players at Arsenal, well, a lot of them are always left wingers. Paul Merson, Anders Limpar, Graham Rix. I had a thing about left wingers, so I think I'd like to play on the left wing.
So left wing, right? All right. I'd have to play center back. That's what I play. I play center back. That's for me. Lawrence, what position would you play?
Be a big fucker, right?
Footballer.
Goalkeeper.
Is
Goalkeeper, right?
your name Lawrence?
Huh?
I'd be I was just asking Tony if his name is Lawrence. No, I'd be a marked improvement on Eddie Nketiah.
There you go. There you go.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
Yeah, yeah. I'd be.
You gotta
I'd
be able.
the
To,
25.
you gotta be able
I'll
to
be the-
press, right? You're gonna have Erdegaard.
I'll
You have Erdegaard screaming at you because you're not pressing. You're jogging around like
Oh,
Eddie is.
He
I
would
I
jog
could
more than
spell
Eddie.
for him.
I just see Lawrence nicking a living.
Yeah, you're gonna be jogging around like Nketiah, and we'll be screaming at you. Why aren't you pressing, my man?
And he's probably on
I'll
like
be-
350 bags a week as well. You know what I mean? To make it worse. You're
Well,
like, fucking hell.
I'll tell you what, I'd be Eddie Nketiah scoring 25 goals this season.
Yeah. Listen, I think this is the most important thing here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's because I'm putting you through from on the left.
Oh, he's making it easy. He's just serving it up on a
Put it
plate.
through.
Yeah.
All you gotta
The
do is
service.
just tap it, man.
The
You don't even have to
service
swing at it.
Stanley.
The thing just tips off your toe and goes right in.
Stanley down the wing, flying down the wing, he crossed the ball in. It's an open goal. Lawrence scores.
And
Colonel
he's at
Ward
the back post.
thank you for the stream while I try to find the full-time job. Got a part-time one, but I'm getting frustrated and depressed slowly, not having the full-time job. Keep plugging away, Colonel.
Difficult
Keep
out
plugging
there.
away. Keep fighting.
Pound that.
We'll get
pavement.
there in the end.
Good luck, Colonel Ward. Good luck, man.
I'm happy being a ball boy. There you go. Michael and Tony. There you go. Tony's army is real.
Yeah, and they're
They've
mobilising.
always
The
been
Tony
there for
stands.
some reason.
The Tony stands are in the house. I'm sorry, Stan. I didn't mean that. Tony stands.
They're mobilising.
So what type of bags through Stan? I don't know what that means. Marseille needs to stop playing around. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we have a lot of things to get through. I don't know how we're going to get through them tonight, but we will. We will. What's the next one? Eddie and Kedia, Alonso. Eddie and Kedia, Olympic Marseille are back in for Eddie.
Yeah, if I were Arsenal, I would take the money and run. I think that, when I think Eddie and Kedia, whenever he first scored for Arsenal back in the League Cup against Emirates, I thought, all right, we have something special here. But Eddie and Kedia didn't run with it like he was supposed to. And with the shirt he has and the rages he's on, I would want Nketiah, aka Nketiah, to be better and to be more of a team player. And he never really grasped that starting a 9 position. And I really liked it, Nketiah. I just wanted the best for him. Unfortunately, here in America, we had that saying where he has to collect his money on the bench, and he really hasn't really done anything worthwhile. And I wish him the best if he does move on and decides to do so. But yeah, I mean, Marseille, I think would be a perfect team for him. He could play there and hopefully have a good career at France. But unfortunately, it's not our Arsenal, and I want all former players to do well, going to our rivals. So yeah, best of luck to him if he does move on. And same as Emirates Rowe, I want these players to succeed, and we're not here, obviously, but yeah, hopefully that he'll have a good career in France, and he'll better Marseille for doing so, and himself.
Yeah, indeed, Alonso. And Gary, as Riddy said, no selling below 30 million. We've had a number of back and forth issues with Olympique Marseille. They stepped away for a little bit. They've come back in. We're not going to get 35, so maybe 30 is the best we can do.
That's 30 mil in euros, right?
Probably euros.
Euros.
In Arsenal, it's always euros.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I think that's good price for him.
27, isn't it? It's like 27,
Yeah.
maybe.
I mean, what did somebody say? He's got 10 goals in like 100+ games in the Premier League.
Yeah.
If that's striker, if he's a striker, then 30 mil is a lot. Anything over 20 is a lot for me. So yeah, I think he needs playing time. He's not going to get it at Arsenal, not the way he wants it, anyways. So yeah, good luck to him as he goes. But I think for himself, he needs to go. This is the comforts of home are just a little too nice for him. He needs to go out there and struggle a little bit, work, listen to somebody else for a while and try to see how it works there.
Yeah, definitely. Got to go to Lawrence with this comment here, and I know Stan.
Yeah, I couldn't put it better myself. Yeah. I knew Claude personally. May he rest in peace. And as I told you the other day, Ray, this guy Nketiah has been the longest-serving member of the first team. Okay, he's been there for 7 years, and his career has gone nowhere. I mean, I think we are fortunate. I was fortunate to have found someone who's willing to shell out 30 million for him, because he ain't worth one penny of that. He's just a pub player.
Can you wait till it's done? Let it happen first. Then you didn't say this.
Hope no one from Marseille's listening.
I know exactly, man.
Cancel.
Wait for the shirt, Lawrence. Wait for this Olympic Marseille.
Stop the fax machine. Unplug it. Do what you're gonna do. Pour war on it.
Try to kill the deal, man.
I'm not trying to kill the deal. I'm just being not straight up. As I said, he ain't worth 30 million. I'm amazed we found.
Everybody give him one of these, please. Lawrence, you're an old man. You don't get it. People listen to you.
Apparently, we're pretty big in Marseille.
I am, as a matter of fact.
Hey, we let them.
No, but I'm just saying. I'm just being.
Anyone from Marseille watching?
We blessed them with the presence of one Saliba
Well, good
for
luck
a
to him
season,
because
all right?
I can see the same thing happening
I'm going to
when he goes over there. I see the same thing happening to him there
Yeah.
as when he went up to Leeds on loan. He ain't going to get any playing time. So good riddance to him.
Jean-Philippe Olo is tuning in right now. He's the Marseille well, at least he used to be the Marseille president. You know what I mean? Good evening. Welcome to the show.
But isn't that crazy? He's 25 years old now.
No, it's good riddance to him.
And he hasn't got any better.
I will personally take Nketiah to the airport.
Cheaper if you just go on the Eurostar, to be fair.
Yeah,
but whatever.
We hope nobody from Marseille was tuning in a few minutes ago, or else we'll never get that deal done, Lawrence. Thank you. A pub player.
He's worth about, in honesty, he's only worth about 30 million green teams.
What is this? I thought
What
he plays
is-
for Arsenal. He said he
What
plays
is
for
this
team.
pub player?
In all honesty, he's worth only 30 million green shield stamps.
You know, you know what? Stop. Lawrence. Please.
Ornstein.
Let it
Ornstein
happen.
will be tweeting tomorrow.
Wait till Ornstein reports on it. Then we want to hear everything you got to say.
Fabrizio Romano talking about how the deal is no longer concrete.
They pulled
pulled
out the deal already one time. You're trying to like force them to do it again.
I don't care. I mean, the guy is
No, you do care. You don't want him here, but you keep trying to kill the deal. How does that work?
That's right, listen.
Massive in Marseille, we are massive.
I know.
If you want to work with him, good luck. You know,
Marseille need
I don't
Eddie and
care.
Nketiah. Marseille need it. You know what I mean?
How are you getting in Nketiah? Are you sending him in the channel? Are you putting him on the
of
third?
his footballing career doing fuck all, right? He's about as much shoots as a bacon sandwich at a bar mitzvah.
I was about to say, I
And
love
the bar mitzvah, Marseille are that fucking gullible to spend 30 million on him. They're good fucking luck to them.
Yeah, so listen, we do hope the deal gets done at around 30 million. There's been enough back and forth. Is that your gaff, Stan? The beeping?
That's Marseille.
That's
What did that lad say from LA?
What
What did that guy say from California? I missed it. Can somebody repeat
They got the
that?
flares out. They got the flares.
No, you don't want to hear what he has to say. It's not going to help you. Go on and
That
play
could
Eddie.
be outside my front door.
As Brownie said, when they see just how bad he is, they'll end up paying the rest of the installments in French francs.
No, more like fucking Russian francs. That don't exist anymore.
All right, so let's hope we get Eddie out the door in a couple of days. Lawrence,
we can send him some rubles.
Lawrence can do his best to scupper the deal, but I don't think it's going to happen, Lawrence. I think it will go through, and Eddie will move on.
Honestly, I'll be glad when it's gone. You know,
Yeah, well, we get it.
I'm just telling you.
You want him
As I
gone, but
said,
you're trying to kill a
America-
deal, dude. How can you can't
What?
you can't have
You ain't
both.
going nowhere if you carry on like that. See, you started them off again. What have you done? See,
That's them trying. They're trying to chase down Nketiah's plane. No, don't. Just
stop that ferry. Stop that ferry.
Stop the plane. Like in these heist movies, you see the plane trying to take off, and there's a car driving in front of the plane, trying to stop it.
I like the ferry on like James Bond. You know, you drive your car in there, trying to sneak around all the.
Yeah. As Reddy says, Lawrence, we need a replacement if he goes now. If you get one player out, we'll maybe be able to get one player in, and the next player we're thinking about is probably Mikel Merino.
I never said my thing on Eddie.
Go.
So, personally, I really like him, but
that would get you kicked off the show.
Joining ranks with Laurie.
On a serious note, I'm kind of like, if we start next season and our sort of forward striker options are still Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, and Eddie Nketiah, then I'm not going to be happy, because we've had that for the last 2 seasons, and that only gets you to second. Right? We've tried it. We know that it's not enough.
Yeah.
So that area needs to be freshened up somewhere. And the obvious candidate, I think, would be young Edward to be the one that goes out and someone else to come in. But if we start with the same 3, we're not winning next season, because we've seen that is not enough, right? We've seen it, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is, hold on, Tony. And the thing is, right, with those 3 players, they're ever so streaky, aren't they? They can do bits. Right? Eddie gets a hat-trick at Sheffield. Kai Havertz came in good at the end of the last season. Gabriel can do, but they're none of them are like consistent. And that's what we're missing in that area. They say all 3 of them are streaky. It's very rare that, Gabriel Jesus, whenever you see him score a goal, and he starts the next game and he follows it up with another goal. It doesn't happen. He never follows 2 games up. It's very rare. I don't remember it. In fact, when is the last time he gets a brace? I don't expect him to get hat-tricks, but get a brace, get 2. And then the next game, get 1. Doesn't happen. We don't have that player. It doesn't. And then that's it for like a few matches. If he does get a brace, we don't have that player that has that bit of consistency. That Ian Wright kind of a player.
Yeah. As Rule said, based on numbers, Mourinho is El Neni's replacement in the squad. Probably maybe Partey or Jorginho, who knows. But good words on Eddie there. And Jesus as well. I think he's got 2 goals in 20 games or something like that last season. Jesus gets consecutive goals and gets injured, unfortunately.
Gets consecutively injured.
Without a striker, we can forget the league title. We have a very knowledgeable group of viewers here. What's Tony doing in early? Oi, 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 oi. Trossard is an option as well. So we have a triumvirate of players who can play that false line.
These are options. You know what I'm getting at? Where is that man? You know what I'm saying? That's his game.
We seen what he did when he had.
I know that Trossard kind of play there, but do you want Trossard playing there every single week to win the league?
He was
not going to happen.
What we have constructed is a team full of players who can play in some different positions. So we have
don't need a whole team of utility players.
Flexibility or options, Yeah.
Right. This brings up the point I've been asking everyone. Okay, we're 55 days into this transfer window. It's taken us 50 odd days to get one deal over the line. You've got other clubs like Aston Villa who have brought in 7 players this summer.
Yeah,
and we're still haggling.
Trying to win the league?
This is
are they trying to win the league? Answer that question, Lawrence.
Dragging their heels in the transfer market. Arsenal just do it all the fucking time, every fucking season, dragging their heels until the very last day of the season.
I would not know about this, but what if you were a Liverpool supporter? They haven't gotten 1 player in yet.
Well, now they're after Zubimendi, who was supposed to be a done deal for us.
Yeah, and I really don't believe
it's just unbelievable that the transfer activity of Arsenal is so fucking shit. It's unbelievable because they do the same thing every fucking transfer window. They do fuck all for most of it until the last week of the season, and then it's panic buying.
What, Lawrence? It's been an unusual summer.
No,
it's been an unusual summer.
Getting players in for
how come Aston Villa? How come Aston Villa?
Answer my question. Is Aston Villa trying to win the league?
You're thinking of Arsene Wenger. I'm thinking of the Wenger.
Aston Villa brought in 7 signings this summer so far, and we've struggled to bring in 1 player, while Aston Villa brought in 7.
Okay.
And how many of those 7 players would you have in Arsenal starting in the first team? How many? How many of them?
That's not the
You know what I
point.
mean?
The
It
point
is the
is,
point. It is
is
the
that
point.
we've been lined up.
Nottingham
We've been
Forest
linked
brought
with
in
so
10
many
players. You want their 10 players that they got last year?
That's
No.
exactly the point.
No, it's not that. It's
They're
not
not.
that,
It's not.
Gary.
The,
The
look, you
fact
know what?
of the matter
You made me
the
say it,
fact-
Lawrence. Lawrence, you made me say it.
the
There's
fact
levels
of
to
the
this
matter
thing.
is
We're not going
that
for.
again,
We're not going for Aston
Arsenal
Villa level
have
players.
dragged
We're not
their
going for
heels,
Chelsea level
right?
players.
All these dickheads who have been saying, "Oh, Marino's a done deal," are the same ones that were thought Julian Draxler was a done deal. That
That's still gonna
Higuain
happen.
was a done
They're
deal.
still talking to Draxler, so
Benzema was a done deal. You know,
Draxler's
just
never
shows
over.
the mentality of this fucking fan base. If most of this fan base are so fucking deluded, because once we're linked with someone, they've got a poster of that player's face on top of an Arsenal kit, thinking they're coming to the club, when the truth of the matter they ain't, right? And it's taken the club 50 days, over 50 days to bring in one fucking signing. Just shows how fucking messed up this club is.
City's brought in one
Apparently,
player,
Peter
and it was their own
Odemwingi's been seen in the
player.
car park
So
as well,
try again. Nobody, you're making it sound like the top teams in the league are doing business, and we're not. The three top teams in the league have only brought in 2 players. City brought in their own player from one of their own squads, and Arsenal brought in Calafiori. I think you're jumping the gun a little bit, but like I said, we're trying to compete for the league. Tell me which team out there doing all this business is competing for the league.
We also got Raya too. We also got Raya signed too.
That's not a signing.
Come on.
That's not a signing.
Nah, Alonso.
Of course, Lawrence. All of us would agree with you. We would love 7 world-class players that have come into Arsenal by now in the 50 days. But there was a European Championships. There was a Copa America as well. It's just not possible to do this and bring in the quality that we wanted to win the league. Aston Villa are not winning the league this season. They brought in 7 players. It's debatable if they're going to improve on 4th place.
9 players.
What?
9 players.
Okay, 7 or 9 players. 7 to 9 players.
Well, whatever. It's not a question of
FIFA.
Artisan, Archer.
It's not a question of the quality of the signing.
It is a question of the quality of the signing.
It is.
You just want to spend our money frivolously.
And won't we sell and carry and buy it back if it's not about the quality? Come on,
Lawrence,
it is about the quality.
Man.
No, you didn't just say that, right? No, we don't care about the quality of the players we bring in.
The days of shopping at Codring's over, man.
Right.
We don't shop at Codring no more. We'd be shopping in Harrods.
The last couple of years, Arsenal continually sit on the sideline, do fuck all till the last week of the season, and then they bring in, then they panic buy. I mean, last year was different.
No.
I don't care what you lot think, right? I'm telling you, right?
Yeah.
This club, when it comes to doing transfers, they've got their head up their ass.
Listen,
thinking of the Wenger days, man. Come on.
Wenger, yeah.
Mikel Arteta always gets players in for the pre-season. He always does it.
He's done
I've
it
been
the last
impressed.
2,
In fact,
3
I've been so impressed with the way that Mikel Arteta brings me, because I remember how it used to be, and you were right. It used to be a trolley dash, last day of the season, what's left on the shelf, Wenger classics. We don't do that anymore. Lawrence. And this window has been a little bit slow because of the Euros and that. And Lawrence, you're wrong on this one, man. We don't do that anymore. We don't be shopping at the car boot no more. We're at Harrods, and these deals take a little bit longer. Look at the Calafiori deal. There was all that bullshit with the sell on free from his previous club and all that. They had to get ironed out. You've got to buy shrewd players now. We can't just be spending the money frivolously. So what if they've bought 7 players? Do we want any of those players? No. I don't know. Maybe 1 or 2 probably could have been a squad player. I don't know exactly who they bought, but I mean, I tell you what, right, when the window shuts, right, and it's only Calafiori or we bring in a couple of idiots, you've got the total right to vent and go mad, because we can't change anything then until January. But there is always time to make the right deal. Still, we could be pleasantly surprised before the window shut. And if the window shuts and we don't bring anyone else in and we don't address certain areas, I'll be right next to you, Lawrence, piping up.
Oh no!
We do need more. We do need.
Okay, Andre Onana is a decent player.
No, I didn't want Andre Onana. He's
That
not
was
what
one
we
player
need.
we
He's
wanted.
not what we need. No, he's not.
Well, the others
He's
are not.
not. He's not all that.
Yeah.
No.
Onana.
All right. Now, Lawrence,
It's
be
nothing.
careful. You might be accused of being an Aston Villa supporter, like I'm being accused of being a Liverpool supporter.
Liverpool.
Careful,
I've
Lawrence.
still got my Emirates shirt.
I'll put that on you all season, Lawrence. The Aston
Sounds
Villa.
Yeah, I
guy.
know.
Sounds like you're a fan of
I
Aston
thought-
Villa and how they do their business,
Providence.
which guarantees.
I
I
wanna
remember
hear
those
that probably-
transfer
I
windows
thought
when
Ray-
you were in Peter Cech and all that. I
I
remember those
thought Ray
transfer
would-
windows, but them days are gone. Remember
I
that?
thought Ray would be
Peter Cech.
wearing his Zubby Mendy shirt. I thought Ray would be wearing his Zubby Mendy shirt tonight.
Yeah, but listen.
Remember, but look on, you have to look at it this way. Sometimes we dodge bullets as well. Remember, we were in for that Lisandro Martinez, and that looked like it was going to be a deal. And he went to Man United, and I get it. Players, you don't like to think that you've been snubbed, right? Oh, we got snubbed by that player to go to United. But has it worked out for him so far? How many games has he played in the season since he's been there? He's not been useful for them. We haven't missed out on anything. We've got William Saliba and Gabriel. They can have Lisandro Martinez for like it. Do you know what I mean?
The guys in the chat box are having to say as well. Rule says not true, Lawrence. I mean, we do move quicker the last couple of seasons under Mikel Arteta. Those were the Arsene Wenger days, in my opinion, as well. Brownie said there's now absolutely no evidence Arsenal or any other club drags their heels. It's probably more of the agents waiting to see which offer on the table is best. And a lot of business is going to happen these next 2 weeks as well. Subimendi and Marino.
But here's the thing as well, right?
Arsenal-
How long have we been hearing that Arsenal are good at doing deals? Other than the Iwobi deal, we always get our pants pulled down. And now that they're digging their heels in with Eddie, people are going, just take the money and run. So which is it? What do you want? Do you want us to play hardball and squeeze every penny out? Or do you just want us to take the 25 million and be done with it? And then that's another signal to clubs that they can come and just like pillage us for players. I mean, it has to be one thing or the other. And I watched a very interesting interview with Edu, and he talks about their strategy when they're looking at players. There's 3 things that they look at. The age is a player over 28. Then they also look at the wage. How much is that player earning? And then the third thing is that player playing any good at the moment?
Yeah. And
it says, and any one of those things can stop the deal. If the player is 28 and he's on good money, but he's not playing well, it goes, then that's a red flag. Right?
And
So
we came from that 5 or 6 years ago, Stan and everybody else. We came from that 5 or 6 years ago where Unai Emery had, or the club bought Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ozil was there. These are players who were coming to the end of their contracts, basically interested in a payday that they were going to have from the club. Mkhitaryan was another one. And they weren't young and motivated to win things, and they weren't hungry to win things. And there was no resale value as well. Rule said...
Who was the other one? Who was the other defender that we had? Papa. What's his name?
Papadopoulos.
Another one. These are all
Socrates.
So we should not have been buying them players, but that's where we were.
Our last minute buys have been Partey, where we triggered a release clause on the Tierney, who we went back in for 3 times, and David Luiz. So we've moved on from that. And our practice,
horrible days.
Our transfer business is a lot more sound these days. Lawrence, cast your mind back 4 years ago, the team that was put out against Bournemouth, the first team that Mikel Arteta could put out, and the names that were on that.
And also, this is where we are now. This Marino thing. Okay, the deal's not done. There's obviously the player wants to come. The message I'm hearing is that the player is already saying out vocally, I'm not on the market. I'm not looking to come to this club, that club. I want to go to Arsenal.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of putting in a bid, don't bother, because this is where I want to go. And that's where we are now with players. Players are vocally wanting to come. Calafiori. When I first heard of the Calafiori, the link, I thought it was just bluster. And usually Italian players use that to go to another Italian club. I said that. But he was really like, no, I want to come because it's Arsenal and Mikel Arteta and what they're doing. That's where we are now. I like that.
As Rich from RD United said, agree, Brandon. Players and clubs have options to consider, financial fair play, international tournaments. So, listen, fair play, Aston Villa. They got business done early. It's going to be business that suits them. They have to get ready for European competition and Champions League. And they have to also maintain fourth place in the Premier League, which is going to be very difficult for Unai Emery to achieve again this season. We know Edu takes his summer holiday also. Arteta has first, second, and third options. Tony, I can't believe Lawrence has taken his notes.
No wonder it's a little bit strange what's going on here.
I think Tony's rubbing
Or
off
do it
on
better,
me.
stick together.
I think Tony's rants from a couple of weeks ago has rubbed off on me.
Lawrence, don't worry. We'll bring you around a little bit. I understand your frustration, Lawrence, but we'd all like to be sat here. Alonso, Gary, Stan, Tony, myself, we'd all like to be sitting here talking about a forward that could score more goals for us this season. Hopefully we get a forward in the door that we can talk about. Mikel Merino. I think it's going to happen pretty soon. But obviously the clubs are still negotiating. And, Real Sociedad, it's a nice place. San Sebastian seems to be a nice place by all accounts. You go live there and you don't want to really leave there. And I don't think
I've been there.
You've been there?
Yeah, man. It's
How
very
nice.
It's a little bit like like the League of Gentlemen. This is a local place for local people. It's very much like they know that you're from out of town. Everyone knows. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
you go into one shop, and when you get into the next shop, they've already phoned ahead to tell them that you're on your way. It is like, yeah, man, yeah.
So listen, Gary, given that situation, you're living in a nice place, a nice city in Spain. Let's say you're Zubimendi, you're 25 years old. Traditionally, as Stan has said in Italy, Italian players don't want to move. Spanish players don't really want to move too much either. And you're 25 years old, you love your spot. I would believe Mikel Merino being 28 wants that one final chance to assemble another team somewhere. Zubimendi, I don't think is going to go to Liverpool, whereas I think Merino has said he will go to Arsenal.
Yeah, no, I saw a post or a tweet or whatever, basically saying that Zubimendi got called up to go, I guess, travel with Real Sociedad. Yeah. Whereas Moreno did not.
Yep.
Why would one player be called up that's on the transfer portal essentially, and another one who also is in the same boat, but only one of them is called up to actually go and travel with the team.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's pretty close based on that.
Yeah.
So and as all the reports say, he only wants Arsenal, and he's turned away 2 other teams. So why not? I mean, it's not like they don't speak the same language, right? Arteta and Moreno, right? So I think they might have crossed paths or something, maybe. Who knows? But I mean, he would be a perfect fit for us. So yeah. It's looking likely. So
yeah, it is definitely looking likely. Alonso, Mikel Arteta is from the same area in Spain that Merino is from, the Basque region.
Yeah, I mean, I think from what I've read and from what I've seen, he played a big role in Spain winning the Euros. So he's a player of pedigree. He's played for Newcastle and Borussia Dortmund. So he has experience. I believe he's also captain, if not one of the vice captains for Real Sociedad. So he is leader, which we can never get enough of at Arsenal. So yeah, I mean, the prospect of him coming to Arsenal, from what I read, is a pretty good player who will play very well amongst the midfield we have in Rice and Odegaard. if Arteta chooses to play him and them three alongside each other, I think he can make a difference. I think, if he's looking for a push to make that last final run, I think Arsenal is an ideal team to go to, club to go to. So, yeah, I mean, I know it's been a rumor for a long time that he's going to Arsenal. Hopefully it works out sooner than later. And, yeah, I can't wait to see what he does for Arsenal when that time comes. So, yeah, I think Arteta has his targets. Like I think Stan has said, this is not Arsene Wenger anymore. This is Arteta, and he seems like he has his targets ready to go. And if not, he always has a plan B. It seems like so. Yeah, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, definitely. Lawrence Colonel Ward has said, still the same though. One thing Arteta has never had is guaranteed European football. We have now under the Cronkies. Are tied. We won't spend 100 million on a 20-goal striker reportedly, so that may be an issue.
So that means Osimhen won't be coming.
No, Osimhen always seemed to like not something that Arsenal would be involved in. More of a Chelsea player for me. Onana couldn't even get into the European team, and raise applause to Liverpool. I just feel like that's a club that's well run. That's all.
Yeah, we know,
Stop
Ray.
lying. Stop lying.
We know, Ray.
Stop lying.
Not a plastic club.
Yeah.
No,
Where's your gyro, Ray?
Liverpool fans have to.
Ray sleeps
Right.
in Liverpool sheets, man. I know it. I mean, when
Ray,
he goes to
Right.
bed, there's a Liverpool. There's the Anfield
Liverpool-
Stadium is on his
Liverpool
pillow.
boxer shorts.
Oh my god!
why don't you admit this podcast is sponsored by Gyro Check?
This slur on me has propagated itself over the last 2 seasons.
I bet you've got like Liverpool socks so that you never have to walk alone.
Rich had 91 Premier League goals last season, and you're worried about who gets the goals. But Rich, the thing is, we have to be looking at going for a Champions League.
It's
At some
timely
point.
goals. It's timely goals.
Timely goals.
That's what it is. It's timely goals.
Can I have my
You
say,
look at
Marino, now?
you look at the Fulham game. You look at the West Ham game. You look at the Aston Villa
Yeah.
games. We
Yeah.
look at you even look at the City game. We needed
Right.
a goal, and like who's going to be that
And
person that's going to give us the goal in those type of situations? We don't have that player right now. A player who can do it all by himself.
I was
Team,
thinking
we're getting shut out by the other team. Somebody can come on and make a difference all by themselves.
And what you're saying as well, Gary, is the frequency of goals. We had a spring where we were scoring 5 and 6 goals for about 10 matches, right? Coming up to the run-in. But we probably didn't score as many goals in the first half of the season at all. European League's transfer window stays open through September. Is that right? I think that you can transfer to Europe beyond the Premier League window slamming shut, as we always say. Jim White. Liverpool regularly had the top goal scorer without getting close to the title. True?
So here's my take on Mikel Merino.
Yeah.
20 million. I mean, what's not to like, right?
Maybe 25.
Okay. I mean, I don't know too much about him, but he seems to come off the bench. And when he comes off the bench, he seems to, not just be a body. He seems to impact games. So that's good.
Yes.
And I don't think, I don't think 28 is old. I think, at 28, you're kind of like at your best.
You're at the height of your powers.
He brings experience, which is always going to be handy.
Didn't he play for Newcastle?
He did, but earlier in the season, earlier in his career. Here's the thing about Marino is like when Rodri had to come off in the final, Marino was the player who came on in the final.
What's his position? What does he play?
It's left
He can
midfield.
play central midfield, yeah.
Okay, that's what we're looking for. I mean, if he's good enough to come on for Rodri and you don't notice. Actually, I remember listening to someone on Talk Sport and they were saying that when he came on, you didn't notice any dip. Oh, Rodri's gone now and you can really tell. Like, this guy came in and everything's still kept ticking over like it was.
Now he might not be the level of a Rodri, but he's still just a notch below.
Well, he's doing it on the international stage, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad.
Indeed.
So, I don't know if he's going to be a player that will play 90 minutes. I mean, why can't he play 90 minutes? He's 28. He's not an old man. Do you know what I mean? He can go bell to bell. So it's going to be interesting to see if this is a player that can work himself in. Is he going to be playing as a 6, which allows Declan Rice to play as an 8, which a lot of people like?
Yep.
Or is it the other way around? Does he play in the left 8 and because he has scored goals and Declan Rice plays deep? Maybe it's depending on the match. We'll see different combinations.
I think definitely this acquisition, if we bring him in and, we have to see him sign the shirt or hold the shirt up and be signing the contract with Arteta and Edu. But if he comes in, this is a player who could free Rice up to do that left 8.
And I understand he's box to box, and I've always felt that whoever plays in that left 8 position has to do what Xhaka did.
Yeah.
Xhaka went box to box. He always came back deep and helped out defensively, but he was always getting in the mix in the forward play as well. So they must be able to do that.
Now I was thinking about this as well today. The optics when you're playing City, we played City twice last season, and the optics and the accusations come in that we didn't force ourselves enough in the Etihad game. It would be a completely different narrative if the games had been switched around and we drew the first game with them in October, but then we beat them in March. The accusations wouldn't be hurled at Arsenal for taking a draw at Manchester City, which, by all accounts is not a bad result as well. If you want to win the title, you probably have to beat City. Drawing and hoping the other teams take points off them might not be the right approach. Yeah. I mean, we did not lose the title because of our head-to-head with Man City.
But then there's the other one. Why didn't they take all of the points off of us? You could look at it from that side. What are they saying about it? Why were we not able to get all points when we played Arsenal? So you could look at it that way, right? Why is it always our failures? Why can't that be a gain?
Well, I guess when you win the title, you're not going to look back at what you could have done better. You just are happy you won the title. You know what I mean? And that's
but at that time,
Yeah. We still need that attacker, that one X factor that's going to make an impact and can rotate with Saka or Martinelli. I'm going to have to head off, guys. 2:30 here. Thanks for joining us, though, Rich. We still want to beat you twice next season like we did last season. We still love you, Lawrence. Definitely. That's what Arsenal fan circle is all about. It would be kind of boring if Gary and I agreed on everything. In fact, he just takes the opposing side just for the fun of it sometimes. You know what I mean? The Wales of Spain and weather, very wet and attitude. Okay. Tony has dropped out. He's got to get the water. He's back. Brownie, who you reckon's getting promoted?
There were some trespassers.
Look, I'm going to round this thing out by saying Mourinho deal will happen. And as Gary said and rightly pointed out, Zubimendi is going to play a friendly game tomorrow. And Mourinho is not. So there is something amiss in terms of a player going to Arsenal. And Liverpool fans have to hold this. They've got the stink of the Caicedos again this summer.
Is he any better than Georgie?
Here we go.
It's going to be competition for Jorginho. Is that okay, Tony? What?
When you talk, right, it sounds like you're being picked. It sounds like there's something else coming through. It's really weird. It's like poltergeist.
It's clicking or something.
Play it back, Tony, and listen. Seriously. 1 minute 4. Go back. It's like something out of Doctor Who.
You can't look much further than the teams who come down to Leeds. Leeds, there you go. Leeds are in the hunt. But fingers crossed for City in the playoffs. Aaron Ramsey is looking fit. So Tony, hold on though a second. Tony, Will he be competition for Jorginho? Is that good enough?
No.
No? Okay.
Let's just say he came on for Rodri and helped his team hold on and win a trophy, right? Isn't that what he did? Right?
Lonzo.
Isn't that what he did? Oh, okay. I don't know.
Lonzo.
Nobody wants to answer that.
It's funny, man.
Yeah, that is what he did. Exactly. Yes.
Just talking about Osimhen, as Red John says, I thought Chelsea had actually pulled out from Osimhen and focused on another player, Yosef Moukoko, who plays, I think, for a German team. So for me, right, with this Osimhen situation, Conte's made it clear that he's out of the squad. He's out of his picture. He's out of his plans.
Yeah.
And he's got this release clause. And maybe if this drags on to towards the end of the window, and Osimhen's, there's nothing going in for him, maybe somebody will come in with a cheeky bid well under the fee, the release clause, and the deal might get done at, say, like 65 to 70 million. Do you know what I mean? Because the manager has made it clear that this guy's not in his plans. He's not saying, "Oh, we like him, we'd like him to stay," but we understand. He's like, "Yeah, no, yeah." And he named players that he wants to stay, but he's, so maybe something will happen with Osimhen, because as I understand it, Chelsea have dropped out. But maybe that's clickbait. Maybe I'm really wrong. But.
Yeah. Why don't we pay?
I'm not in the know.
Left 8 similar to Xhaka's position. Yeah. Let's say you have the fake one. That's Rodri. Red John in the house.
And now what about Julian Alvarez leaving City for Atletico Madrid for 82 million euros? Pounds?
I am less interested in that. Well, he went to Atletico Madrid, though. It's already done, right? Yeah, and it was done quickly. This is Man City now, who are as interested in outgoings as they are incomings. This is an effort for Man City to start looking respectable, in my opinion. They're starting to do business the last 2 or 3 seasons because they know something is coming down. They know
there seems to be more players leaving than coming in. The only player coming in is Savinho, however you want to call it. But let's talk about the goalkeeper going to Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
there's Alvarez is gone. Gundogan went last season. Bernardo Silva looks like he wants to go every season, and they keep him. They talk him into it. Kyle Walker will probably be going, and Kevin De Bruyne. There's a lot of talk about Kevin De Bruyne going out to Saudi Arabia. So, what does that mean? The players are like, okay, I'm leaving now before the shit comes down, or is it just like, I've won everything that I can win it? Maybe I'll go somewhere else for a big payoff in Saudi Arabia. But it does seem to be talk of players leaving more than coming in. And they just made 80 odd million on Alvarez, right? They've got money to spend, technically.
That's how you start your second.
Are players not wanting to go there? Is it hard to attract players when they've got this hanging over their head? I don't know.
That's how you sell your second choice striker. Our second choice striker is Jesus or Trossard. Tony?
Wouldn't that be the same thing when they were getting in trouble for sending players to New York FC? Because the Saudi team
I would have gone for Alvarez. I like him. They wouldn't sell him to us, though.
So.
No way they're selling to us.
After Zinchenko and Jesus, they're probably not going to sell.
And they were laughing when I sold them to, but they would not sell us Alvarez, man, because Alvarez would make the difference. He would make the difference. And as I think you Red John said, he's won everything. The World Cup top. He's won everything from the top to the bottom. Yeah. So why would you want to be in the shadow of another player? You'd want to go somewhere else where you can be the main man. He knows that he's always going to be in the shadow of Haaland.
And if Atletico put it together, they could, usurp a Real Madrid. They could get past Atletico maybe as well. Red John said, we need to sell and Kedia, lads, get this deal done. Edu, put that guy on the first plane to Olympique Marseille. We were talking about that about 20, 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, we decided that a plane ticket is more expensive, so we're just going to stick him on the channel. Because it's a lot cheaper. He can drive on in his own car.
Well, I thought we were trying to scupper the deal as well, right?
That was Lawrence. I think we might have saved it.
Lawrence's comments and thoughts
Crucified it.
and
Crucified the
anything
deal,
he
man.
says are not backed by this channel.
Could you imagine if we'd had Lawrence on when we were selling Iwobi? We probably would have got tuppence.
No, this guy, you'd be
Shiny
like, no, you don't want him. He's terrible.
Yeah, Lawrence shouldn't come on during transfer window parts because this is
Yeah.
Trying to kill
Oh,
Fields
don't
over
start
here.
me. Don't
he's
start
fucking
me on that.
shit.
The only club that will
We're
make
selling for a
Rodri
bag of
least
Monster
is Real
Munch.
Madrid. We need Real Madrid to buy Rodri so we can fake Pep City.
Just what I missed not getting here until like 10 o'clock, right? Was you get energetic.
Your mic is not. It starts
Demons.
starts
The demons
strong,
are trying to come through.
and then
man.
it just goes.
Demons.
Right. Can I just tell you lot something, right? Okay, I don't know if you've already discussed this. I watched the game yesterday.
You were here from the
I don't know
start.
if you discussed it. Where you been?
You
We've
were
been
here
sitting
from the
there for
start.
like.
Well, we
70
haven't gotten
minutes.
into the game, which is what Lawrence is going to talk about. Yeah.
I don't know if you've discussed this already, but I watched the game yesterday on the Arsenal website, and it went to the half-time discussion. They had these two guys on. One of the guys was Adrian Clark. I can't remember the name of the other guy, but listening to them was like listening to Tony having a conversation with Ty from Arsenal Fan TV. And it was so riveting, I fell asleep and I missed the whole fucking second half of the game.
What was Tony got
Dude,
to say to that?
I thought you were you were the number one fan of
A
one
real
Tony.
fan, yeah.
I thought he was going to say.
I thought you were Tony's number one fan. I thought you were going to say you actually did a flip.
Oh yeah, I'm his supplier for crayons. Didn't you know that?
Crayons.
I've got a warehouse full of Crayola in the backyard, right? And it's just waiting for Tony to come and collect.
Yeah. This is a real thing.
Shipping containers of carry-on.
Yeah.
Bargav,
big up Bargav.
You know, whenever I know, in pre-season, if you lose a game, people go, it's just pre-season and that. But look at Chelsea's pre-season; it's been a disaster, hasn't it? They just haven't won any games. Haven't looked like a cohesive team, from what I've been gathering. It doesn't look
Didn't
like
they beat some Mexican team? Didn't they beat a Mexican team last week?
I think they've won. I think they've had like 6 games or 5 games, and they've had one result.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Man United hasn't been that impressive either.
No, and they've had unfortunate injuries as well, haven't they? New players.
Yeah.
Euro.
So correction, Rule was correct. It was Zubimendi who came on in the second half of the European final. But I feel like Marino came in at some point as well. He did. He came on at one point as well. Okay. All right. City lost every game when I Rodri last season for context. Big up Bargav. Yeah, we got a full panel here tonight. Varying levels of decibel, mic check levels. There are levels to this, as Gary would say. Second half was overrated. It was one. All right, don't need to see that. What time is the next game, lads? Sunday.
Do you think that Martin Odegaard's going to change his squad number to 10?
Yeah, so that's a good question.
It's available, right? Because Zinchenko just changed his to 17, which was Cedric's. He was 35, he's changed to 17. What's that?
Countdown? What's that? 2 days?
2 days, 11 hours, and 3 minutes.
So, yeah, I think he'll change it to the number 10, Stan.
I think he'd look better in the 10.
Does
And maybe
does it-
he maybe
does
he
it-
can be be the finally lift the curse of the
Does
number
that
10.
does that
Because
co- does it come? Yeah, I was gonna
Exactly.
say, does it come with double digits goals and assists in the
hopefully.
Premier League?
Yes.
I just think that ever since Dennis Bergkamp, the number 10 hasn't done anybody any good. William Gallas started it.
Yeah.
Jack Wilshere didn't do him any good, did it? It was on a treatment table. ESR didn't
Mesut
do good for him, did it?
Ozil.
I never
Mesut Ozil.
understood
Mesut Ozil.
that ever.
Just like
I would
nicked a
say-
living.
I never understood.
What about
that
Robin
goals.
Van Persie?
Did he change from 11 to 10 for a bit?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it was 10, yeah.
Well, yeah.
It was last year. It was last
Down
year
the
that
line.
went to. It was last year he went to number 10, Stan.
Yeah.
The
Probably
last
only
year
one
and
then,
this last season.
'cause he was
Uh,
excellent.
We need this Jokeris thing done. I'm calm with whatever's. I trust the players we are identifying. Let me say that. And I think a little bit to what we were saying earlier in the podcast. We seem to be able to identify the right players for the right position now. We have a lot more hits than misses, let's say. Obviously, you're going to have a player who maybe has had a difficult first couple of seasons and needs to play well this season.
Looking at you, T-Bag.
That's you, Fabio. That's you, Fabio. Tired of the false nine stuff, to be honest. But we have at least two good players who can play that false nine with Havertz and Trossard. Xhaka got pretty much got a guard of honor. Are we going to swallow our tongue and acknowledge Ozil and Alba? Well, I don't know, but that's what did they do?
You might have to.
I think.
Let's say
I-
Ozil's in now.
I think, to be fair,
He
I
might-
think
I'm not going down that road again. Doing it.
What? Aubameyang got Arsenal and FA Cup, so I don't know what Xhaka got us. If you want to talk about what they left us with,
Down that road.
Well, Xhaka was part of that team as well.
okay.
Aubameyang is the guy that put the goals in, right?
Yeah,
Timely
yeah.
goals that were needed, right? So,
Fair. Well, I remember one challenge from Granit Xhaka in that FA Cup final as well. Go ahead, Alonso.
Right. So, Ozil got us 3 FA Cups too. So, I think, I don't know. I think sometimes Xhaka would play out of position a lot of the times he's at Arsenal. But he did make it work, and he did help us get Champions League football. So, I think it's a shame how he got so good. I think he got better as his career went on. But fair play to him for not giving up. I think that's the ultimate focus story out of Xhaka is that he did do better as his years went on. And I think it was not the right thing to do. It was a good thing that they honored him that way because his last year here there was a lot of he was going to go anyway. So I think it was right thing to do for him to get that customary standing ovation. So he made it right. That's what matters to me. He made it right, and I think the fans appreciated that part of his game. The last 2 years of his stay at Arsenal.
And what about the 5 years he cost us Champions League?
Well,
It was definitely a long arcing redemption story. It took a long while. You had suitcases packed as part of the story. You had long conversations and persuading him to stay, and finally
For 40 million
taking him out of
euros,
harm's way.
40 million euros. During
See,
COVID.
I don't mind players going if you're going to upgrade them. And I think that we could have upgraded on Granit Xhaka because Tony, quite rightly says that he was with us for 7 seasons and the last 2 were good. But then you could also say, different formations, a manager using him in a different way, not getting the best out of him. And maybe you could see that was a genius move of Mikel Arteta, changing his position and putting him into a formation that was getting the best out of him. But I'm very disappointed that we haven't upgraded on him yet, really, because as I mentioned, there still is a question mark over that position, left 8.
Yeah.
Is it Declan Rice? Then we need a 6. If it's Declan Rice stays at 6, as a whole. It's been a couple of seasons now. That's hurting us, I think. That's hurting us from maybe getting from second to first.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm going to go back to Liverpool slightly for a second.
As you should, being a fan. I mean, that's basically
Liverpool
Liverpool fan circle.
Liverpool were hurt because they couldn't get Caicedo, and they had to get a player in Endo, which is not as good as Caicedo. And Arsenal were hurt because they couldn't get. Where am I going with this one?
You just wanted to say Liverpool. I understand. That's
Arsenal were hurt because we couldn't adequately replace what Granit Xhaka gave us. That's where I'm going with this one. Yeah.
Well, I think initially it was supposed to be Havertz, wasn't it? That was supposed to be, I think, the plan.
This issue got to get tackled indeed. Not the Liverpool issue, but the issue about Granit Xhaka. I'm calling this Granit Xhaka's testimonial because, you know, he stayed long enough at Arsenal. This basically felt like a testimonial. And he got a good reception by all accounts at the Emirates. Now, what he did was wrong. Going back over old ground again, what he did was wrong. But the situation was of Unai Emery's creating. It was Unai Emery's situation that the crowd were irritated with Unai Emery and his lack of decisiveness.
He made us sub at the 58th fucking minute, right? What else do you expect? Xhaka took a hell of a while to get off the pitch.
Here you are.
Wait, how can our fan base applaud a player who was at the club for 7 seasons and only had one good season out of those 7 seasons?
2.
I think here's what I'll say, Lawrence. Here's what I'll say. Over those 7 seasons, we were lost for about 5 of those seasons.
Rudderless.
Mikel Arteta came in and started to turn the ship around.
So if we can give Xhaka 7 seasons, we can definitely be more lenient with Teabag, right? He's only been with us for 2, so just rest.
No,
he's got
even worse.
He's got another 5 seasons on that logic to prove himself. So
only if he cost us titles, Ben.
In 5 years.
And you forgot Zinchenko for that too, pal. So you can wait for him too, right?
Anything else? Because Bargoff was like, this issue's got to get tackled. The Granit Xhaka issue.
What do you mean?
Did we tackle it enough?
Well, he's no longer an Arsenal player, right? You should move on from him. He had.
This is supposed to be an Arsenal channel, but we keep bringing up Liverpool, so I don't know.
I know.
There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on this channel. I just don't understand. I'm trying to figure this thing out.
You don't get this from Aston Villa's. Don't get this from Aston Villa's.
You're coming from the Aston Villa transfer reporter over here, right? What are you doing? What are you doing over here? Everybody.
Gary, I think I've asked you this before. It's time for you to pick your second team, Gary.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Is that team down the road?
Let's move on before I kick you off your own show.
Oh yeah, you do have that power. Yeah. That's why it was precious to make a world-class signing.
That's my recollection of the Xhaka incident.
What?
I remember my recollection. I remember it so clearly. I was in the pub here in Vancouver, and it was really busy. It was a packed afternoon or whatever. It was even one of those ones where I took the missus out, and my mate Mike took his missus out. It was packed, and it was leading up in a few games where Unai Emery had been criticised about being indecisive at right times in the match about making changes. So we all sat there. I remember we were eating and that. And then it was late on in the match, wasn't it? It was like maybe 70 minutes, 74 minutes, somewhere around there. He made the change. And everybody in the pub cheered. It wasn't because Granit Xhaka was coming off. It was like, at last, Unai Emery. So I could only imagine that If that was what everybody was doing in the pub, I would imagine people in the crowd who were at the game were probably doing the clapping and the cheering for the same reason. And Granit Xhaka, he thought it was about him, which is why he then reacted in the way that he reacted. But from where I was, it wasn't about Xhaka. It was more aimed at Unai Emery making a decision.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And so when Granit Xhaka reacted that way in the pub, everyone was like, what? Everyone was like, really then, like, they were quite vexed. They were like, you know, because you've done the fingers and whatever, through the band off, whatever. All that, right?
He threw his shirt off, which you should never do. He disrespected the Arsenal shirt. And that's why I will never forgive him.
But from our standpoint, we weren't jeering, great, Xhaka's coming off. It was more aimed at the manager, and at last he's doing something. So I can only imagine that was a whole pub, right? It's packed. It must have maybe been the similar sentiment. And Xhaka had been going through the mill a bit at that time, hadn't he? He hadn't been playing well. You know, he'd been like, maybe had a couple of his yellow cards that he'd had and all that. And so obviously he's like, they're having a go at me. And he reacted in the wrong way. You know what I mean? And that's how I looked at it. And it was unforgivable the way he reacted. So the true colours.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And I think a lot of it is off of the back of where you feel as a fan.
It's a team game.
Your club is. You know, if you feel like your club's in mid-table, 8th or worse, going backwards rather than going forwards, you're going to get on the manager. And we got on Emery for being indecisive. And Emery's still that manager. He's still a little bit cautious at times, but he does have a. And
how did we do against him last year, right?
What?
How did we do against him last year?
We didn't do so well.
How did we do against him in Europa?
Nope.
Europa. How did we do against him in Europa?
We didn't do so well. So
we are
gonna. It's the first away game for us coming up in this month. Probably we're gonna play Aston Villa this month. Throw Teabag as a free transfer with Kenya. Get those bozos out of our club, said Red John. Xhaka has found his level with the German league. Yeah. Invincible. He's gone on to do some good things at Bayer Leverkusen.
Did Stan go on the Galaxy with them?
Beat Bayern Munich to the league title as well. Xhaka was not a bad player when he came in. Our team was soft. He showed fight and was really cool.
See, people seem to forget how he put his hands around an opponent's neck in front of a referee.
Yeah.
You know, people forget that stuff.
Pepe
right?
did it too. So, I mean, it sounds like it's something that was going on in the team. So,
you know, people forget the games that he threw away, games that we lost points because he gave away the ball that led to a goal for the other team.
Yeah,
but then there's also the argument, isn't it, that he was being played in the wrong position, because as much as I was not a fan of him, that the last couple of seasons, we agreed on a season and a half. Okay, Lawrence.
Yeah.
He was a different player, and he fit in the way that we were playing, and I was like, okay. Yeah. And a lot of people go, we should never have got rid of him. He wanted to leave. Remember, he did want to leave to go to Pastures News. It was his choice. But we've not upgraded. We've not replaced him, let alone upgrade. So I'm a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, people forget the number of times he got sent off as well. Needlessly got sent off as well because he had no discipline.
Yeah, and a lot of that as well is a consequence of playing in a bad team and a bad system.
I'd go as far as to say there's an argument that had we kept him for another season, we may have done better. Because, you know, he had a good engine on him. He was hardly ever injured. And in that position that he was playing, he was chipping in with goals. He was assisting. He was dragging players out of the way. But he was also popping up defensively. He was going box to box. And it suited him. It really suited him. But we unlocked that too late. We needed to have unlocked that earlier, because I do think that had we have kept him, we may have had a different result a couple of seasons ago. We missed him. And it pains me to say it, because I wasn't a big fan of him, but it is what it is. worked in that position. It really worked well.
Yeah, I respect Xhaka.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
blame
it.
him for the reaction. His family is being threatened over a game. Yeah, game of football. Such a
Oh,
soft.
the whole thing, Instagram, you can tell it on private. You don't need it.
It already
A
happened.
million.
It already
You
happened.
don't need a million people.
It already
fucking-
happened. There's no like taking a toothpaste out the tube. It's already happened by then. It's already happened. I mean, he's already read it.
Yeah, but why is it on private? Just like,
It doesn't matter. They probably would have said the same thing to him in the from the stands. It happened, right? It happens. Players go on. They should be allowed to go on the internet without getting those things said to them. Everybody should, right?
I'd like to respond.
He would let people get past. There was a little bit of that. Yeah.
But here's the thing. What I noticed was that when he was playing more under the Wenger in that older position, shall we call it, for that first 5 seasons, when he was supposed to be a central defensive midfielder, agreed. I just see him spinning out of the way sometimes and letting players go by him.
That's why you need to go higher up the pitch, because his mistakes can be resolved before they even get anywhere near the goal.
Yep.
But there were lots of times when he was playing in that higher position under Arteta where we'd be in danger and there'd be loads of our people in the box and the ball would get hoofed out of the box. And I'd go, who is that? And I'd be like, fucking hell, it's Granit Xhaka. Seriously, and I'd be like, he didn't do that when he played as a 6. But I saw him get us out of danger more, and he was more confident in what he was doing. He was box to box, and I always used to make a joke: the further he is away from goal, the better it is, because there's less catastrophe.
Yeah.
But I do hear what Red John is saying. When he was playing as that central defensive midfielder, it was really a bit of a catastrophe.
Especially that mechanism where we tried to have him fill in a left back as well.
That was right. That's a Partey moment.
Get to that.
Then he didn't. He took that, and then Arteta said, "Stan, hold my beer." Partey,
it was a Tavares moment.
Hit it.
It was like a Tavares moment, because the first game he done it in one game and he did all right, and it was like one game, and it was like, that's the position, and he done it in the next game, and it was a disaster. It was like Tavares.
This is a great thing, but this is a great thing about being an Arsenal supporter. We are all part of this family, and
I hope that kills you.
We all love the club. We all have hope at the beginning of the season. Is the hope that kills you. We got to acknowledge some stuff. We got to acknowledge that, we all feel differently about the club as well. Lawrence has voiced his feelings very strongly tonight about Arsenal needing to do good business. And we've all said, let's do quality business as well. Let's bring in good players. We all want the same thing as well. We all want our squad to be filled up with higher quality players. Get Nelson out, get Eddie out, and bring in some quality players in their place. And a player like Ethan Nwaneri coming forward as well. He looks quality as well.
But is Ethan Nwaneri and Ricardo Calafiori, let's say worst case scenario, then that's only 2 additions to the squad, and maybe a Timber who actually has got injured again.
Yeah.
Do you think, even if Mikel Arteta tweaks some of the style that we play, do you think it's enough to beat City? If that's it, I don't.
No. I think we all accept. We need that midfielder. We need that forward minimum,
But you
right?
have to also remember that we're talking also about, and this is all if Martinelli returns back to some form that he had 2 seasons ago, if Jesus takes this summer off and actually performs, because we didn't have him last season either, not for as much as we would like to have him. So that's 4 players there that we didn't have last season. That
I think it's 3 players short.
Yeah.
3 positions short. A midfielder, a wide player, because Saka needs a bit of respite. Someone that can come in for Saka.
But
and
Jesus
we need a forward.
Was a good thing last year.
3.
Well, I mean, from what I
finally coming up and doing a decent job instead of being terrible in the midfield. Absolutely terrible in the midfield.
Where does Miles Skelly play? What position does he play, Miles Skelly?
He was playing left back for some of it, and then he can play on the left side anyway. Midfield as well.
Yeah, I mean, I watched them last week when they were out here in LA, and I was pretty impressed by what I saw. I mean, we all know about the Waneri from a couple of years ago, but some of them other kids, I reckon they should get some game time this season.
How old is Waneri? How old is he?
17,
I think he's about 17,
Oh, he's 17,
18.
Yeah, even at the Heaven looked actually pretty good. I mean, he's gonna have some oops, but he actually looked good for a kid playing for the first time, with the first team. So I think they did really good. I mean, even that the little kid. It starts with his last name starts with a D. Is it?
Salah.
No, it starts with a D.
Walters.
His last name. I thought Dockers or something. I can't remember what his name was.
Salah. Yes, Salah. I think his first name is Salah. Yeah.
Oh, Salah looked good as well. Yeah. No, so we had some good young kids come in that, for me, showed hopefully what they showed is what Arteta is expecting out of his players, right? Like they're supposed to learn so they can play for the first team.
Do you
right? So,
do you think if two players make the transition from the academy into the first team, albeit cup games here and there, do you think that's a good indicator of the academy doing well for the first team now?
yes.
How old was Xhaka when
anytime you can bring a player from the academy into your squad and get minutes out of them, I think is a plus.
Would it satisfy those who are saying Mikel Arteta does not bring enough?
None of them are starting for us, so it's got to start somewhere. Where do you want it to start? They're not going to come in and just start. That's not happening right now. We're not in a position where any of our kids are worthy of starting. Getting starting minutes. So if they get minutes right now, it's a good thing.
You just watched
it'll be in the Carabao Cup, won't it?
Scored 10 goals.
They'll get game time in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
Martinelli notwithstanding, I never understood why we would go out and pay, even though it was a minimal fee, for someone like a Marquinhos. If I was the owner of the club, I'd be like, so hang on, let me see if I understand this. I'm giving you money to go to Brazil to buy this young 17-year-old when you've got an academy full of 17-year-olds. Are you telling me that the kids in the academy ain't good enough? If so, why am I paying them wages? Get rid of them and get me a better academy. What is it? Which one is it? So and if I'm in the academy and I'm flirting with the first team and you see someone like a Marquinhos come in, what does that tell you? You'll be thinking, oh no, they don't really fancy me because they're prepared to bring this kid in from Brazil. So things like that I never really understood. Now, if you're going to go with your academy, go with your academy. But even though I said that I think we're 3 players that are short, there is another question mark over this squad that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. And Martin Odegaard is quite an influential person in the way that we play our football. If something happens to him and he's out for, say, 2 months, who is it that comes in and fills that space in our squad? Who is that person?
It would be by committee, right?
But who is it? Who? It's not.
I couldn't give you one player that would be able to nail that down on a team.
What would be the starting lineup in the midfield if Odegaard is out?
All right, so hand on heart.
We've got a hole at left eight as it is. Now we'd have a hole at right.
I'd have to go with Fabio Vieira.
That's scary. You're playing
Big
City.
jump,
You're playing Liverpool. You're playing at Anfield. You're playing at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Fabio Vieira is going to be in your midfield.
Yes.
One has to be right.
It is.
Kai Havertz.
Definitely not Zinchenko.
Possibly Kai Havertz. Answers on a postcard, Alonso, to Blue Peter.
It needs to not be here anymore.
So listen, who else would it be other than Fabio Vieira or Kai Havertz? Right?
Anybody, but yeah. Like I don't want Havertz in the midfield, but if you're telling me Fabio Vieira is your best choice, then no. Let's bring in Kai and
one area could do it for a few games, but that's a lot to be asking of a 17-year-old.
Not in the first 5 games of the season. He wouldn't be starting for us.
No. because we do have a tough first 5 games.
I'm with BX. If Odegaard is out, I'm putting Kai in there.
Kai.
Not because I want to, because that's probably better than some of the other
Okay.
options.
In that situation, and I think Mikel Arteta faced a question like this. In that situation, Kai could join Jesus as a 9 and a 10 up front.
Or even Trossard, because you know that they can interchange.
Trossard, yeah.
Kai
Kai and a Trossard together. Yeah. As I think we saw from the Trossard goal. Yes, like Stan. I didn't see the whole game, but I saw
someone
the
needs to be able to
highlights.
go box to box in that midfield.
Yeah.
You need to have a defensive person as the 6. I don't know who that is. You got Odegaard. He does get back a little bit, but he's a creator. Whoever that other space in the way that we play that formation, they have to go box to box. They have to be able to come back and help the 6. Have to be able to get into the. I don't know. Trossard. I don't know. But I've always felt that there's a hole there. If we lose Odegaard, there isn't anyone. Do you know what I mean? That we're like, yeah, it's that guy.
Yeah.
We're kind of like experimenting a little bit. And how long do we leave the experiment? If we put someone in and it ain't working, do we go, well, we've got to leave it for a while to see if they can set it in? Or do we panic and put someone else in? And that doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? And we're constantly changing the midfield again.
We experimented a little bit.
We're doing that at left 8 now.
Last season we did that with Kai Havertz, we experimented with Partey in that right back spot for 2 or 3 games.
And Thomas Partey, even though he's fit now, he don't look the same player. Remember, the last 2 games of the season, I said he'd been out for ages, he was fit. Just come back in and give us 2 games. Yeah. He was crap. Absolutely, as I say in Scotland, pish.
We are going to have to face up to the fact if Partey plays.
I'm not sure about him anymore.
You're not going to get consistent games from him.
I'm not sure about him anymore. I don't know what the deal is.
He may give you a good game. He may give you a bad game. You just don't know. Mourinho and Rice in front of from Rule here. Trossard doesn't press and track back like Kai and Odegaard. I mean, Odegaard.
That's why he goes in a 9. That's why.
I think everybody has to press, but you are Kai and Odegaard press very well, and Trossard would be just behind him probably. But everybody in that team, Mikel Arteta does not stand for players not pressing and not doing their job. Okay, so we're going to talk about Timber a little bit. And
we didn't sell the prospect to United. He just walked out the door because he had no ties to Arsenal.
We gave him a decent offer.
Yeah, he didn't want it.
Is that Cheeto Obi Martin?
Yeah, Cheeto. And which is going, I think, to a tribunal. That fee is getting litigated, let's say. Mourinho and Rice in front of a back, Jesus in 10, Havertz 9.
Right. Did you not like him because he got 10 goals against the Liverpool team?
It must be a personal reason because if he'd gone abroad, he could have signed professional papers. But in England, you're not allowed to sign professional papers yet. So Arsenal offered him the best deal that they could. So if he's gone to another team in England, he signed a similar deal, right? That was on the table because he can't sign professional deal or something at that age in England. Yep. So, maybe he
things are going to happen
as a Man U fan. He's from Sweden. He's got no allegiance. He's not from North London. So it's up to him.
Yeah, these things happen. Tony, what was your question there?
Sure. Right. You didn't like him because he scored 10 goals against Liverpool in one game.
I didn't catch that. If anyone else did, let me know.
He was talking about. I think. Is he talking about Trossard?
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
He sounded like Donald Trump then when he said about Biden that he didn't hear his question. Right. I didn't hear that question.
You talking about
think anybody else.
No, I'm talking about a player that just went to Manchester United.
He scored how many goals against Liverpool?
10.
There you go.
Oh, Trossard.
Cheeto.
Okay.
This one's 10 goals in a game, isn't it? It's like FIFA.
Yeah. But
amateur setting.
Tony, there's no way to know that he's going to
Jalapeno
translate
cheddar.
that into the senior game. There's no way to know he's going to translate that into the senior game as well.
Well, we just played a player 2 years ago, the youngest player in Premier League history.
The amount of strikers that have come through Arsenal's youth that really look the business, but for whatever reason, J. Emmanuel Thomas, there's one.
Lucas,
Chipper
City are that much player. They are a sliver player. They're the kick of a football player.
You see, the thing is with that, with some, especially something maybe like that Cheeto, when you're like bigger for your age, you know, and you're playing with, you know, you're able to go past players because you're big for your age. But then at some point, when you make that leap and you're playing with men, you don't have that advantage anymore. You lose that advantage. Now it's down to other things that you got to find. But sometimes with youth players, and you see them coming through the ranks, and that is because the way that they're built and the people that they're playing against, it's easier for them, which is why you see them being like 17, but playing in like maybe the under 21s.
Yeah.
And even at that age, they could be still physically better. But then when they make that one step next up and they ain't got that advantage anymore, then you see what they're made of.
Yeah. As Red John said, talking about the academy, I think that's what Arsenal is doing with Ethan Waneri. They will sell him. Listen, the kid looks like he's quality, and if he's good enough quality where he can be in the squad, he will be in the squad. You know, the academy is there to produce quality players for the first team, but there will be situations where loans have to happen.
Look at his previous comment. Look at his previous comment.
Maresca. That one?
Yeah, I mean, Gallagher, you would say that in a team that was a mess, that was Chelsea, one of their shining lights was Gallagher, who came through their ranks. And you would think, you know, if you're serious, okay, we want to build around this guy, keep him about, you know, he's the lifeblood of the fans. They sold him because of the FFP and all of that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, it wasn't like he's a dud like Eddie and they're trying to sell him. This guy was contributing. You know, he's one of their shining lights, one of their own. He's off.
He's also a captain too, Sam.
That didn't used to happen, did it? That didn't used to happen. Imagine that was like Tony Adams. You know, Tony, it doesn't happen. It didn't used to happen like that. You'd keep somebody like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah. Cut the script. It's an Arsenal show. What's this mean? I don't know what that means, but anyway. Okay. Alonso, Zinchenko scoring first goal. And no Timber. So do we go into the season with Zinchenko?
Oh, God, no. I think we put Calafiori in. It was a risk.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's a risk that we're willing to take. You know, I had no trust in Zinchenko, especially against Villa. You know, that's going to be a problem, I think. The guy's not ready. He never was ready to be at left back position. It seems like, you know, Arteta just handed it to him with all the flaws that he has in his defensive game. I think that it'd be a huge mistake if Arteta started him there, no matter how good, no matter if he scored or not yesterday. So, yeah, I think it's a risk. Still putting Zinchenko at left back. And I think it'd be more of an issue if you play him there against Neto. As him going to hit a toe against him, and then he'll start against Villa, and you know Villa's very good against the counter attack, right? So, you know, I would put Calafiori in ahead of Zinchenko for sure.
Yeah.
But it's a shame that Timber's hurt, and you know Tony Allison's not ready to go yet either. So, yeah, I'll go with Calafiori. No brainer, man. I leave Zinchenko on the training pitch.
Gary, I think Alonso's onto something here. You know, we've given Zinchenko the game, and he's probably got some. A lot of the players will have more rhythm than other players, right? Rice and Saka coming back. Calafiori probably should start the game on Sunday, Gary.
Yeah, if he's ready to go, we should be good. Yes.
Probably chomping at the bit now.
Well, no, I just think the reason why we brought him in is to get him up to speed. He's, you know, he might have to learn on the job.
Yes.
I don't think it'll be too much of a challenge for him, but I think, he needs to get in there and get get used to this thing because we need somebody that's, as Stan said, we need a solid left back, right? So if he's the
solve
man,
that position.
let him play, and then let's move on. Because I just Zinchenko is just a target. He's a target for any teams that are going to play. They're just going to come up that side and attack it because he's vulnerable.
Yeah.
And then he, for me, when he has has one of those bad plays, you see the entire team just like, it hurts, and they all look different after he's made. After that Salah goal, the game kind of just didn't go our way for a bit. So I kind of feel like, yeah, Calafiori, the man looks like he's breaking. He broke a lot of the training records for the Salahs and Gabriels and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Let him play. Let him play. We saw Jesus come in, bang, let's go. Arteta, well, think about it. Arteta brings in a player, he plays him, all right? Havertz, as much as we did not want him to play, he played him, all right? Out of position, didn't matter. So Calafiori, same thing. Let the man play, give him the 90 minutes, and then we're ready to go. We play a week after that.
Yeah.
I don't think what Calafiori is lacking as much as is that much of a risk as opposed to having Zinchenko play. That's me.
Yeah. And Pargav had asked for what's our landmark signing? What's our signing? Declan Rice, I believe, is our landmark signing. We made that last summer, and we got Rice in reasonably quickly as well. Red John said we should donate Zinchenko to the war effort. They'd be able to motivate the troops at the front line of the war against Putin. Calafiori got, or I wish I got that hair flick, but need a landmark star signing. This is supposed to be a no nonsense channel. It is no nonsense, but there's a little bit of nonsense in there as well. We mixed it up a little bit, Farga.
What was nonsense?
I don't know.
Are you sure you want Zinchenko defending against the Russians? Are you sure about that?
See that? No, that's okay. If that's the nonsense he's talking about, Bargav, there you go.
Yeah. Well, look, we have a lot of different. All right, so Jurrien Timber, by all accounts, he's the training schedule has to be a little bit different for him because of the injury he had last season. That's what we're hearing anyway, and that he didn't play yesterday due to that. I've not undergone that kind of injury, so we have to trust what the club is telling us. So with Jurrien Timber, are we going to have a player who has these niggling injuries now through the season? It's looking kind of a little bit.
I don't buy into him.
Go first, Stan, and we'll get.
I don't quite buy into the left back, Jurrien Timber. It's not a position that he's played at before we got him. It's a Mikel Arteta thing. And I think he hasn't nailed on the left back, and it's a way of getting him into. I mean, the first time he played there, he got injured. I see Jurrien Timber personally as a contender for right back, or maybe a centre back relief on the right side. I don't see him as the left back. Calafiori is another one that has played most of his career at centre back, but had a lot of games at left back. But we see it at City. He does it at City, doesn't he? He does the same thing. He plays centre backs that can play in the full position. Yeah. So maybe there's a little bit of that going on, and I think same with Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu to me is another Timber thing. He's competent there at left back. He's not a left back. Again, he's a centre back or a right back. So I think that Calafiori is going to come into that position. I think that's what the aim is.
Well, will we see a player that may be plagued by these injuries, Tony?
That's the thing. It's half the freaking team. You started with Zinchenko. Zinchenko's most games. Only time was over 25. Was back in Russia. You go Tamayasu, nope. You go Jesus, nope. You go Timber, nope. There's way too many injury players on there.
Last season, Zinchenko seemed right down the pecking order. Champions League games, round of 16 or was it quarter final, where he wasn't starting.
Yeah.
He was playing other people.
Come on, the second half of that game.
He would rather play Kivio out of position.
Yeah, toward
He'd
the
rather
end.
play a player out of position than play Zinchenko. So that would tell you where he is in the pecking order.
Yeah.
Tells me.
Yeah, and Bargov's calling out. You know, we gotta be looking at some trophies to come in season. Let's be real, Champions League or treble going to be the time of our lives. We got to push for it. And right now, I think we need to get a couple of players in, and Marino could be one of those, a £25 million player from Real Sociedad who can help raise the floor, as we're saying. A forward as well, whether it's a striker or somebody to take the pressure off Bukayo Saka. This season's not about landmark, but better quality squad. Exactly, Rule. Yeah, we have the best first team out there, first 11. But when you look at Man City, Pep Guardiola can look at 10 players sitting on the bench, and they're all top quality. We need to be able to see Mikel Arteta looking at our bench and not think, with all due respect, there's an Eddie there or an Nelson there who just can play with other Premier League teams, but not at the top end of the table.
So who said we're winning the Champions League?
Bargov, he's projecting, right? I mean, what do you call that? You say it will happen. Let's be real. Champions League or treble going to be the time of our lives. We got to push for it. Bargov.
Can I ask everyone a question? Everyone a question?
Yes.
All right. If Arteta fails again this season and we end up with nothing,
we've asked.
Does he stay or no?
We're on record, though. It depends on context. For me,
Barry says he's gone.
If we come third, or fourth, that's a regression. We've gone backwards.
Yeah.
That's.
What did I say, Tony?
You said that we don't win the league. Arteta's gone.
Just like that? No, I didn't say with context.
If
you watch my video, which I did, I actually said he's supposed to compete on 4 fronts. Guess what? We're barely competing on 2 as it is, right? If we're competing on 4 fronts, yeah, we're probably going to spread ourselves thin a little bit. That's what everybody wanted us to compete on 4 fronts, but then everybody wants us to win a trophy. And when you win a trophy, then guess what? Then you're like, oh, wait, you know what? Then you're taking your foot off the gas in the league, in the Champions League, in the domestic cups, all of that. If we need to compete on all 4 fronts, guess what? We're not a squad that can do that, but that's what everybody wants as well. So it's a catch-22. It's a catch-22. We don't have the squad yet. I don't think anybody believes we have a squad that can compete.
It's like saying,
on 4 fronts.
If we come second and get to a Champions League final, irrespective of winning it, do we just sack Arteta? Just go out, right, we get rid of him now. Couldn't get us to first. Do you know what I'm getting at? I mean, there are people out there, man, that have never seen their team get into the Champions League, let alone get to a final. Yeah. You have to keep, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It all depends what it is that you want. And for me, I get it. Okay, I'm going to repeat myself. I understand that during the season, my team at some point is going to lose football matches. Otherwise, you'd be invincible every season. But it's always about the manner of the loss. If we've gone out there and given everything and we've been beaten by the better team, I'm going to be disappointed. But if we've gone out there and see that our team hasn't given everything that we can, and we've thrown the game or whatever, then there'll be questions that need to be asked. So there's context. There's always context, right? If you get beaten by the better team, you get beaten by the better team, And
I think that pickpocket comment is important in that context.
If you're putting your house on it, who are you betting on, City or Arsenal? I bet you 90% of the people
This season,
are putting their money on City still until they see something
I think
different.
it's much more 50-50.
Maybe
than
it's not
Depends on the size of the bet.
90%, but it's really 50-50? You think it's 50-50 right now?
What happens if City get their points docked?
Well, that's a
For
different
those,
story.
Right,
That's
so
not
they
going
get
around,
The
man.
points
Put it on
deducted.
Arsenal.
That's somebody news winning this year, right?
We can't wait
That-
on their.
That's a lot of
£10
ifs.
in my pocket.
That's
I'd
a lot
put
of
an
ifs.
Arsenal.
But
The odds would be better.
if we're going by
I've
based
got
on
a
what we've
sneaky
seen the last
feeling.
2
I've got a
seasons,
sneaky
right?
feeling.
Then
But
you're
I'm not
expecting them
placing
to
a bet
compete.
until after the transfer window closes, so I can see who we get in.
Right. and we'll have a prediction. One of Tony's favorite shows, a prediction show.
We don't get nothing out of Lawrence then.
Lawrence, yeah. Old man don't do that. He doesn't make predictions.
Lawrence won't get
But
it.
he's got Arteta out the door already.
Sorry, Lawrence.
I'll be sitting on the fence.
I can
Lawrence
be
does not make
cheap,
predictions. You're right, Stan.
Yeah.
I forgot about
Isn't
that.
it?
No link for you, Lawrence.
Yeah, Lawrence
be
doesn't
a
do
I'll make one
apparently.
cheap,
Alright.
and we can copy it. But
I don't make predictions. Says Lawrence. City will struggle this season, even if they win the league.
I don't even predict if I'm going to get through tomorrow, let alone predict on Arsenal.
Fair point, but
Who won last year on the season prediction?
they sold Alvarez, Mahrez, and Gundogan.
Who won, right?
Maybe Kevin De Bruyne's going. There's a lot of chatter about that.
City have no depth in the squad right now, despite having one of the best starting 11. I would beg to differ. They have decent players sitting on the bench
Doku,
most
Grealish,
games.
Oscar Bob.
Yeah, you don't get it if you don't go after it.
Who won the season predictions?
Doku. Tony, project. Mic check.
The only problem with that 13, 14 best players is they got world-class players, even if some of them are old. Right? They still got world-class players, and people consider, even they consider Foden world-class. Right?
It is going to be very competitive.
Nobody on Arsenal right now is considered world-class, right? That's the difference. They got world-class players, plus they have a decent bench. We don't have world-class players yet, right?
Do you remember when they sold Sergio Aguero and they still played without a striker? And do you remember Gabriel Jesus was in? I naturally thought they're going to sell Aguero and Gabriel Jesus will play.
Yeah.
No, didn't do that, did they? Played him on the wing a lot. That was a sign.
Yeah. Chelsea finesse to Lawrence. Want us to beat Chelsea. Tony's out of here, I think. Maybe he's back. I'm just saying Champions League is a must. Bargav, we got to the quarterfinal. I don't think we were outstanding in Champions League, but our first go back in it, we got to a quarterfinal. We really should have beaten Bayern Munich if we were obviously a better team. We were. I think the occasion got to us.
Tactics. Tactics.
No, I think the occasion got to us, Tony.
Well, you know what? I think you're making excuses for your uncle. The occasion got to him in the Villa game as well, right?
Mikel Arteta was not on the field, Gary.
Right.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, so the coach has absolutely nothing to do with the way that the team plays on the pitch. No influence on them at all. So nothing. The coach has nothing to do with it.
You're just itching for a fight now. Come
on. No. You're going after the players. I get it. But you're telling me the coach has
Mikel Arteta cannot stop David Raya from running off 30 yards out of his goal, and Gabriel Magalhaes, misjudging something.
But you know what? Arteta can also go, oh my God, look, we have an opportunity to maybe take over the league against Aston Villa. So what will I do? Will I keep my center forward in a position where he's been playing well and scoring pretty much every other game? Or do I go, no. Let's put him in the midfield where he gives me a goal every 4 or 5 games, right? So tell me where the coach has no influence on how the team.
Well, I thought we were talking about the Champions League, but
everything.
I can't.
They're all the same thing. It's the same. Whatever.
I agree with you.
Those 2 Bayern Munich games are basically what you saw in basically the game, the Aston Villa game for sure,
Yeah,
and sticking with Havertz as a midfielder for too long.
that was a
Too long.
mistake. Clear mistake.
Right,
And those are,
Did you
and
ever-
that's on the coach, right? That's not the
Yeah.
player.
But we were
That's on
talking about the quarterfinal. We weren't
And
talking
that was
about.
on the coach
Gary's
as
got a
well.
point.
He didn't
Gary's
give us
got
a
a point.
chance. He didn't give us a chance.
There was no need to
because
make
of-
them changes
because-
when he did.
Yeah.
He brought in
He didn't give us
Zinchenko
a
as
chance
well, right?
against Bayern
No
Munich.
need.
That was the
had
league
to
game
know,
in
he had
between.
to know going into those two Bayern Munich games. But guess what? We were the more talented team. We're playing at home with none of their fans. Are you telling me we could not see us get over the line in that? If you want to set up a game perfectly, that's what you want. You're playing at home first in a home and home,
Gary.
right? And you come out like that? Nah.
In that game, in that
Nah.
Bayern game, we got the lineup we wanted. Havertz did not play in midfield in that Bayern game.
Arteta didn't get it done.
You could say that, but the players go out on the field.
No, the players
Did,
didn't
did,
perform
did
either.
you
But
ever
that's
go do your homework, Ray?
What?
Did you ever go do your homework? I gave you a homework. If you go the second leg, then White's hurt, so we go to the back three. Tomiyasu's
SOS.
Not this
attacking.
again.
Tomiyasu's the attacking midfielder. Alonso, find me who the left back
I'm not
was.
gonna do your homework, Tony. No.
There was not a left back there. There was three center
Right.
backs.
Did you ever do your homework on Saliba?
Oh, he just got
First,
quiet all
Mike.
of a sudden. Tony,
He's
can
got
you hear us?
first.
Tony, can you say something?
Did you ever
got
do your
third.
homework on Saliba?
Yeah, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Didn't he was gone. I did do my homework.
Sounds like
Yeah.
sounds like the cat got his tongue. Tony,
I understand
There
City
was
has
injury
good
there.
players. The manager's still bigger than the team players. What's the status? 115 charges will be heard in autumn, October.
I think there's still three players we need to get rid of, right? We need to maybe four. Ramsdale's got to go, and that's obviously if you're Ramsdale, right? You're like, well, I only played when he couldn't play against Brentford.
Heard a little
That's out
rumor
now.
around this, huh?
So he needs to
Right.
go. There's money there, right? There's money
Right.
there. Hold on,
Right.
Nelson's got to go.
Oh, Lawrence.
There's no room for Nelson. Obvious that Nelson is selfless to requirements. That's two. Eddie and Ketia. We need to, as I said, if we go into next season and we've still got Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, and Eddie and Ketia as our options up front, it's too streaky. That needs to be freshened up. So it's got to be Eddie, right?
Yeah.
That's three.
Yeah.
And the other one,
Zinchenko.
fourth one for me, is Thomas Partey. I think his legs are done. I think he's just done, man. Thomas Partey. And I'm gonna give Alonso his wish because he's right. There's a fifth one, and that is Zinchenko. Those five I would like to refreshen, whatever the word is, freshen up on. Those five players.
The original stand.
so just think about it. You're up 2-1.
Well-
You're up 2-1 at Anfield, and you decide you need to switch your left back. Who are you bringing in? Who's Arteta bringing in?
Exactly.
Calafiori. And Timber.
No, he's taking Calafiori out and bringing in his buddy. Come on.
Because his knee just smashed
sorry.
into 1,000
Timber.
pieces. But take him off.
He's bringing in his yellow crayon. We all know.
I'm just saying.
Trivia.
You know what? You can't leave Arteta with the
Yellow and blue crowd.
that toy he's not allowed to play
Zinchenko.
with.
I'm
He's
not,
gonna play with it. Arteta's gonna play with that toy, and that's why you
I'm
got
not saying that Kai
that's why you
Havertz
gotta throw
can't
it
do a
out.
bit of a job through the middle. He can tuck a few goals away. I'm not saying that Gabriel Jesus can't do a job through the middle and tuck a few goals away and what have you. But neither of those two, and you should have left Eddie out because, come on, I'm just being honest, right? Neither of those two are the man that we need at the moment. We need, I'm getting at. They're good to be there. I'm happy for them to be around. We need something else in that position to freshen it up. So that means Eddie's got to go. It's got to be someone else. And if that person is behind Kai Havertz and they have to work their way in the leapfrog, or we bring in somebody big who's an expected starter, so be it. But the ideal choice, it's never going to happen. But the ideal choice for me that would put our team over the edge would be Isak. It's never going to happen though. If we had Isak, that could put us over the edge. Someone like him.
Yeah.
The way he plays. You know? Someone who plays in that way can create goals out of nothing, can be on the left-hand side of the pitch by the byline with 3 players around him. Somehow he's wriggled out of it and tucked it away. Someone that can put somebody through. We need someone like that. We need an Alexis Sanchez kind of a player in a way. That makes any sense.
Yeah, unfortunately, Newcastle are no longer in PSR peril. You know what's happening with City countersuing the Premier League. Not sure about that one, Tiger. Lawrence, yeah.
Yeah, I was just mentioning someone put up the thing about Manchester City's 115 charges.
Yeah.
It's now 138 FC. That's just because they like to spend a lot. They like to spend a lot of their half time in the dressing room.
Oh yeah, that's right. They've got to find 2 million or something for that.
It's a paltry 2 million as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Their owners have that in their sock. Like, here you go. It's 2.5. It's 2.5. We're going to do it for another few matches. We're paying in advance. Do you know what I mean? We'll pay in advance to do it some more. 2.5 million. It's ridiculous. 2 million.
Was that Pep driving by your stand?
What?
I said,
What's
was
that?
that Pep driving by and arguing out there?
Are you eating cheeses?
Oh, stop.
Lucky Charms.
I don't understand that. What was that?
Lucky Charms.
Arteta will never sell Jesus Zinchenko because they're his spies in the locker room. He doesn't want all about 2.0. Again, Edu confirming our management was trash. We were supposed to be annoyed at City for being run properly. Yeah, but Edu was calling out what was happening 5 or 6 years ago in getting established players. We gambled on getting into the Champions League on the back of those experienced players, and it didn't happen.
Did you hear about Nottingham Forest wanting to take Edu as their sporting director?
Yeah.
They wanted to do what?
Yeah. Did you about me wanting to go on a date with Kim Kardashian? I mean, it's just like, and everybody wants someone. It doesn't mean anything. Of course, they would like him. Why wouldn't they? He's excellent. He's excellent. Have you not seen the interview with him on that? Is it Men in Blazers? I sent it to you, right? Didn't I, the other day? It's like a 25-minute interview with Edu. Yeah. He talks to you about how they buy players and what they. It's really in depth, and he talks about how, working from a sporting director and not knowing nothing, and the courses that he took and how he understands. It's very, very. I feel like we're in safe hands. I watched that and I was like, I want this guy, in what he's doing. It gave me a lot of confidence. A lot of confidence.
Yeah, and as Bandham
says, he knows his onions. He knows what he's talking about, man. There was no waffle in there at all. It was like proper on it. Not seeing it, watch it. It's confident. It really made me feel like, yes.
Getting Mikel Merino will be another.
And he's an invincible.
Another confidence.
He's an invincible as well. He's been there.
Yeah,
he knows.
I do as well. Bandem 14, us if you still.
Can I just say one thing, right? He told a story about Arsene Wenger, right? He said that he'd been in the team for quite some time. He was always on the team sheet, playing well and everything like that, right? And so he's coming up to the next game. He's looked on the team sheet and his name's not on there. And it's like, what's going on? Like, I've been in the team now for a while. I've been playing well. And other teammates were going like, why aren't you in the team? So he goes, right. And he went looking for Arsene Wenger. And Arsene Wenger was in the meeting room. He was with somebody else. He knocked on the door but went in. And he goes, can I speak with you a minute? He goes, I don't know who he was with, but I interrupted the meeting. And he went, okay. He stopped the meeting. He came outside. And he goes, let's go into another room. He goes, and he sat down. And he goes, and I just went, why am I not in the, he goes, what is it? What is it that you'd like, what is it that what's up? What do you want to speak about? And he's like, why am I not in the team? I've been playing well and blah, blah, blah. He goes, and I went on and blah, blah, blah. And he just sat there listening. And he just said to him, because he pulled out a book. He pulled this book out and he showed me all of the games that I've been playing. And then he showed me all of the games that were coming up that he needed me for. And he said, I just want you to have a rest.
Mm.
And he goes, and more importantly, not only do I want you to have a rest, I want you to go somewhere with your family. Don't come into training, and I need you to come back fresh for these games. And he goes, I just felt really embarrassed. Like, I was just thinking it was all about me, right?
Yeah.
He goes, so I can take these kinds of experiences, and I understand what players are going through, he goes, because I've been there.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting interview.
Why didn't Edu tell Arteta that, guess what, Saka, it's okay if he doesn't start. It's okay. Maybe, you know what? Maybe he doesn't even get in the lineup, coach. Because guess what? I, who gone through a season unscathed, also sat out a match. Yeah? Or two. Yeah?
Probably because we don't have someone like a Sylvain Wiltord who can come in and pick up the slack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know what? But it needs to happen. It doesn't matter who you are.
It was Gilberto.
In this day and age, you cannot play your players 90 minutes for 38 games, plus all the other tournaments they have to play. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get the best out of them.
Yeah.
They're not built. The games are tougher. Everybody's bigger, faster, stronger, and they're playing a lot of games in a short amount of time. You know, no rest, no recovery. I mean,
I only want to rest my
makes more
best players if they need it. If they don't need it, I don't need to rest them.
The start of the season is going to be
Saka
brutal.
has needed it. You've said it.
Oh yeah, he does.
Everybody,
like Gabriel and Saliba,
every Arsenal fan.
they
will
look
tell
like they
you
could have
Saka
carried them
needs to-
playing another 10 games. I'm like, if
Yeah.
they don't need to be rested, you know, like people keep saying about our central defenders that they played all of the games, and I'm like, but they didn't look knackered. And if they don't look knackered and they don't need it, and I'm sure that they've got people better than me employed to check their levels, then keep playing them if they're happy to play. Yeah, if they're knackered and they need the rest, yeah. So if those two guys can go through like seasons like that, I don't want them rested because they're excellent. As long as it's not, doing anything to them and they've got people checking that shit.
Yeah. There's going to be. Go ahead, Lawrence.
I'd give my right arm to have Sylvain Wiltord back at the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a player I liked as well. He'd come in and fill in and score goals. He wouldn't miss a.
He'd be a starter anywhere else,
Team
wouldn't
wouldn't
he?
miss. Yeah.
Unsung hero.
Be a starter anywhere else. Could start for any
Van said, if you still doubt about Arsenal being strong this season, then you're living in the past anyway. Where did Atletico Madrid get that money for Alvarez? Is that something to do with João Pedro or one of those João
They
Felix?
might have that same marketing company that City has. I mean,
Yeah.
sounds like it's
Divert the funds.
They must be like.
Yeah.
Are they trying to sell
They
João
must-
Felix, didn't they? They keep trying to wheel him out. João Felix.
They
bought
must be.
so much money, 120 million euros
Yeah.
they paid for him.
They
Yeah.
must be like Chelsea, who sell their related projects off to other people so they can skip through the loopholes.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Morata.
thing about Saka is he can win you games. So Salah's going to play. Haaland's going to
You
play.
know what?
Oh.
There's a difference between playing a Salah, who's a world-class player, and playing a Saka who's striving to become, who's still on his way up. They're not the same. We keep comparing our players to world-class players. They're not yet. Why are we rushing them? You're rushing him. He's 22.
What? I
Come
would
on.
say Salah was 22 years old at one time as well. Mohamed
Salah was not asked to run it to be the leader of the squads that he was on, like he is now.
He
Oh,
was at
well,
Chelsea.
What
Not
was
at
he asked to
Chelsea.
play?
He was not asked to lead like Saka is at 22.
What was he asked to
He
play?
didn't even last there. He didn't even last long at
3,800
Chelsea.
minutes.
Your
and
talent
4,000
depends it. You're not
minutes.
asked to do something. Your talent.
I'm just telling you, you're asking a lot of a 22-year-old, and then you're going to tell me, you know what? How many times has anybody said, you know what? I've seen this with Jack Wilshere. We burn them out,
You know what?
and then their careers are shortened, and then we don't get it the best
hear
out
what
of them
you're saying.
anyways.
But when he doesn't play for 2 games, we're going to be wanting him
That's
to
why
play.
you have to have an answer. From day one, you needed to have an answer. Not like what you needed to have an answer 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
You don't think there's an answer right now? He plays. There's no
Have you
injuries.
seen that answer come onto the pitch? No, you
I know
haven't.
I know it's a different position, but like, where's our
He's
Davok
scoring.
Origi? Where's our Davok Origi?
Rating.
You know what I'm saying about Origi?
You tell me it's all about the
Where
players,
is
but
he?
then you're going to tell me we don't have a backup for Saka, and I'm going to tell you why don't we have one? It's because of Edu and Arteta. They haven't brought one in that they trust,
Good shout, John.
and they need to do that.
Yeah, how do
Who's
you
the backup for Erdogan? Right, we just talked about that.
That's it.
Who
How
does
do
he
you
trust?
back up Saliba?
You
How do you
have
back
to
up
find a way.
Odegaard?
You have to find somebody
We've got
that
plenty,
you're
we've got
confident in
plenty of
that can
backup
get
for
the
him.
job
Tommy
done in
Ashley
a
can play
pinch.
there.
All right,
You
let
have
me
to.
ask
Tommy
you
Ashley
one
can.
question then.
Timber can play there. We've got
Who's
plenty
the
of
backup
centre-backs.
for Rodri at City? Who's the backup for Rodri at City?
Who is it? Calvin Phillips. I don't know.
I don't know.
Who
But
was
did
it
he
who
play
played
every
when he
game
There
was
is
for
no
them?
player.
Did he play every game for them? Every season?
No, he was
Did he
sent
spend
off.
with the squad?
But
Right.
Got a red card.
No, last season's probably the last. I don't know how often he's played, but last season they didn't win when he was out. But that's an older team now. Back 3 and 4 and 5 years ago when he was out of the game.
I just
they
think
were still
it's
winning.
hard.
They've won how many? They've won what, six Premier Leagues in 7 years or something like that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Did he play in every game? I doubt it. Did they need him in every game? No. They were able to. I bet you they were able to survive. They had to. The same way they were able to survive last season when KDB was out. All right.
Good question.
Do-
That's a
do
very
we-
good. Hang on, that's a very good question there from Brownie. But I'm going to pass this one, I think, to Lawrence because Kevin
Red John
Richardson.
Alvarez
Kevin
was the
Richardson
backup
is
for
a
Haaland.
player.
Not now.
that was
We
a
don't know
little
what they
bit
got
before
now.
my time.
Yeah.
I
Who's
think
going to deal with it?
Lawrence knows more about Kevin Richardson a bit more than me.
Yeah, great unsung hero. You know, always did the business when he came in. I still remember when we won that game at
Where did
Liverpool
we
in
get him from?
'89.
Where did we buy him from?
Everton.
Kevin Richardson.
Everton.
And who did we sell him to? We sold him to
Watford. I think it was Watford, or was it Aston Villa?
Aston Villa, I think.
Yeah. But I remember that tackle he did on John Barnes in that game up at Anfield that led to us winning the league title. Because if it hadn't been for him, that would have never have happened.
Yeah, good shout.
But there have been so many unsung heroes that I've seen during my time watching Arsenal. I mean, I go back to the days of Peter Storey and Peter Simpson and Georgie Armstrong.
I was a big Graham Ricks
yeah.
fan growing up. I went for a period of really
Graham
Graham Ricks.
Yeah, so many. Brian Talbot.
Brian Talbot.
Yeah.
David Hilliard.
Yeah.
Stuart. Do you remember Stuart Robson?
Stuart Robson.
I used to
He's the one
play
that
for.
complains
now,
about
doesn't
Arsenal all the time now on ESPN.
Yeah.
Why can't our,
Charlie
outside
Nicholas.
of being right, outside of being
Steve
right, why
Williams.
can't our former players
Ian,
be on Arsenal's side?
Steve Williams. You remember Steve Williams?
Yeah.
Who we signed from Southampton.
Yep.
Malcolm
And
McDonald.
Alex Cropley. That was another great player that never got the credit he deserved.
Don't know that one.
And Peter Marinello.
Peter Marinello. I remember that name.
It's
remember
tough
that name.
you see, it's tough to have cover for world-class players. Kovacic and Nunez was Rodri cover last season.
Stefan Schwartz, who went on strike.
Stefan Schwartz.
He went on strike, didn't he? He literally went on strike.
Striped socks. I hate people mourning about eating these players. We pay to watch them.
Apparently.
And they get paid so much money to be on the pitch as long as Saka's fit.
That's the problem. He's not fit. I'm not talking about playing him when he's resting when he's fit.
Every player plays with some niggles, though, Gary.
I'm not talking about that. How often do we sit there and go, that player needs to come off the pitch?
I heard a football player
He's
once
getting
say in
beat
an
up
interview
the
that it's
entire
very
game.
rare
70
that they
minutes,
play
then he's getting beat
100%
up.
fit.
And
Well,
you know, like
that's
it's probably time for him to come out and get a little bit of a.
that's how we feel about it.
Right?
But Mick Arteta may say, you know, he can stay on a bit longer.
I just think if you want to manage your team better, you need to be able to pull your players out. If not, you don't have a squad. We talk about depth all the time. Now all of a sudden we want to play our players 90 minutes for 38 games. I don't think that's basically a good plan.
No,
Yeah, and hopefully this
I don't
season,
think it's a good plan for our center backs to play that many
they're
games.
androids. They're not from this planet.
Because guess what? Once again we're talking about we need to compete on four fronts. They cannot play every game for every.
They're both T1000s. No. Right. They're made of adamantium.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna wind
we're
this
not
thing.
saying 100% fitness. That's
one of them's Wolverine, one's Deadpool. They get injured and then just regenerate.
Well, one's a weapon.
Seriously,
10,
people kept saying at the end
11.
of last season, "Oh, Gabriel and Saliba, they played every game." And I'm like, and they looked like they could have played another 10.
Yeah.
They were fine. They were like, yeah. And it's like if they need the rest, great. Then But if they don't need the rest, why are you going to pull them out? Because
the game comes easy.
Whoever's coming in is not going to be any better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We know, when you replace Rodri, you're not getting better. When you replace Odegaard, you're not getting better. When you replace Saliba, you're not getting better. It's just facts of life.
We're losing to teams that don't have those players. Why? You know what I mean? So it's not like we win every game just because they play. That is not how it works. At some points, they're not up to the form you want, and sometimes they need to come out. Sometimes they're not practicing well. They don't need to start. You know, it's the best coaches do it. We see rotation.
All right. This question's for Lawrence. That question.
Sorry, what was that?
Lawrence. There's a question for you, Lawrence. There, right there on the banner. What's your top 4 prediction next season, Lawrence?
My expectations.
No, your top 4.
Definitely a league title. Got to win the league.
Your top 4 predictions.
Yeah, which teams are going to finish in the top 4 places?
What? I don't predict, guys.
Why are you predicting? That?
I'm building the fence.
You're predicting that we're gonna let our coach go.
I wouldn't want to play Monopoly.
Take that back. No. Take it back, old man.
I'll get Tony to send you some crayons.
Yeah, Tony won't. He won't be
able to catch me. Can you imagine playing Monopoly against like a huge pile of get out of jail free cards?
I'm building
Man's
the
always
fence.
landing on a community chest.
Ray, you never
always coming second in that beauty contest. You've come second in the beauty contest. Collect $20 of every player. It's like, how many of those you got? How many beauty contests are there you're continually coming second in?
I asked you who won last year's predictions.
An hour ago.
You have to be here for the next. Or when we do the prediction show, I can reveal the winner of last year.
Actually, if you're talking about the top pick, you know, the what was it? The upset pick. That's me.
Yeah, it was you. But this is.
I'm still waiting for my coronation. What's my coronation happening? Fuck.
It's self-proclaimed coronation.
I won last season's upset pick, and it's like barely been a whisper. I'm like, hello.
Nobody cares about it.
I'm waiting for like a coronation and the whole shit, and it's like
it's going
to happen before the season
starts. Oh no, it's Stan. He's gonna wallow in this. He's gonna bask.
I smashed it, by the way. I absolutely smashed it. So
for a long time,
Gary was there for a bit. Man. But
Sam was there a long way.
Sam Greenwood was the one. Yeah, that's it. Sam Greenwood. I was like, please don't let me lose to Sam. Please, Lord. The sacrifices I made in Stanley Park at night to win that. The goats, that's another story.
All right, Stan, your top 4 prediction then for Bandam 14.
I think Arsenal are going to win it.
Yeah.
If we do what we need to do in the transfer window, that's the thing. The transfer window is a big thing for this one. So if I get in my head done what I think we need to do, I think we win it.
All
So
right.
that's us first. I'm going with my obviously second City, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll pip them. Third place. Third
Aston
place.
Villa for Lawrence.
No. Just to piss Lawrence off. Anyone there. Third place. Newcastle.
Oh, okay. You got the Isaac power.
Yeah.
To third place.
I just think Chelsea are going to be a mess. And before next season is over, Man United are going to change their manager. 10 are going to see the season through.
All right, who comes fourth?
Who comes fourth? Maybe Aston Villa.
Right. Alonso?
I say Arsenal.
Oh, sorry, Liverpool. I forgot Liverpool. Liverpool got to be in there somewhere. Excuse me. Liverpool.
They can come fifth or sixth.
Liverpool. Who did I say was going to come third?
How can you say that about your own team?
Newcastle.
Okay.
You don't have any
Yeah, sorry.
Newcastle.
Okay,
faith
let
in
me
them?
rephrase. Okay, I just forgot Liverpool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, Alonso, I'll be really quick. Arsenal,
Yeah,
Manchester
I'm
City,
sure.
Liverpool, Newcastle. There you go. That's four.
Okay.
There you are.
There you go. Alonso.
Yeah, so I say Arsenal, City. I say maybe Aston Villa, and I say Liverpool.
Okay, Liverpool fourth. All right, Gary.
Yeah, Arsenal tops. I'm just gonna go crazy. Liverpool, City, and then I'm gonna go Newcastle since they don't have an international football.
Yeah.
So.
I'll go Arsenal, City. I think Liverpool will come fourth. Yeah, no, I'm going to go with Aston Villa third. Tony?
City again.
Go find yourself a City podcast, okay?
Then you have Aston Villa, Arsenal,
Oh wow!
Liverpool.
Well, he's got to say
Arsenal's going to finish third.
Yep.
You're banished, Tony.
Wow.
You're banished. That's a three-match ban for you, Tony.
Yeah.
Red card right away.
Who won my prediction game 3 years running?
Oh my!
Nobody
fucking
even
God.
knows. Nobody knows,
Who
Tony.
won?
I'll reveal
Oh,
that.
no,
I'll reveal that in the next show.
Because you're
All
cheating bastard.
All right, we're gonna get out of here in a couple of minutes, but it was good to see the false nines scoring yesterday as well. Leandro Trossard, Gabriel Jesus, and Havertz all scoring as well.
Can I answer Red John's question there about which Spider-Man is the best? Tobey Maguire,
Yeah.
Tom Holland,
Toby,
Andrew
right?
Garfield.
Toby, right?
I think Andrew Garfield is the worst, and the reason is that when he's Peter Parker, he's too cool. Peter Parker is too cool. I quite like Tom Holland, but I think Tobey Maguire, because I think Spider-Man 2 is probably the best Spider-Man film. One Doctor Octopus.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good film.
I know.
So I'm going to go with Tobey Maguire.
I think I only know Toby Maguire, so I would have picked him as well. Liverpool are literally 5 world-class players, and best Arsenal beats Arsenal best team preseason. Don't take preseason as any kind of barometer.
Arsenal's best team? That's not our best team. How's
It
that our
wasn't.
best team?
No. We had players out. You can't take anything into.
They
this
had their
season.
best player. We had Saka, maybe we had a chance, but they had their best player on the pitch. And he was going against our worst defensive player, and guess what? We paid for it.
Right.
Yeah, I went there.
Yeah. All right. I think we'll leave it there unless anyone has anything to say. I'm not going to go around the house on everybody. Okay. You've been watching Arsenal Fan Circle at Thursday Night Forum. Thanks everybody for being here. It was a full house. Alonso, thanks for coming. Tony,
You're welcome.
thanks for being here. Lawrence, Thanks for being edgy tonight, Lawrence. You were edgy tonight, Lawrence.
You're welcome anytime.
Gary, thanks for fighting with me for a little bit. You fabricated a fight, Gary, just to have a fight with Ray tonight. You fabricated.
I didn't fabricate anything. You say nonsense. I catch you out. You talk about Liverpool on an Arsenal channel. I call you out.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just say?
So for those that wanted to know, like Tiger and Gunnar said it, on Saturday we go at 3 p.m. UK time. So
right.
Can I just say, Ray? Thank you for coming on the Aston Villa fan circle.
I want to hear that in the Brummy accent.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you talk all this big like Arsenal game with all this information that you know, but in your heart, you're at Villa Park, right? That's what you are. That's where you are on Sunday, right?
William.
Yeah.
Me and Prince William.
I don't know anything about that. I just know you like that crimson. That's all I know. It sounds like yeah.
And of course, Stan, back from holiday. Thanks for joining us, Stan. Back in the swing.
Yeah, and I'm off to Toronto tomorrow.
Nice.
5 or 6 days.
Big facts. There you go. I guess
wow.
I don't know if that's a wink or not, but
yeah. Gary speaks facts. Coming from Brownie, that's dodgy, Gary. You know that, right?
Well, dodgy and dodgy and Brownie.
Gary, that's how he draws you in.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Next thing you know, you're carrying a suitcase.
You know what? I'm not going to Australia. All right, Brownie. I am not stopping by. I'm not making that stop on the way to the airport either. I'm sorry, not doing it.
Somewhere in the southern Asian.
You're offered an all-inclusive to Thailand.
You know what? Yeah, I'm not doing that layover. I'm sorry. Brownie, nah, dude, nah. Oh, you know what? Yeah,
you guys,
I know. Right, John, we did kind of
Brownie, take that back. Take that
back. We did kind of talk about
mate. It's sweet. It's sweet, mate. We do it all the time. It's sweet, mate.
All of a sudden, like he's like, yeah, you're gonna have some tickets coming, and it's gonna be 2 suitcases coming with the tickets. He's like, this is your luggage.
Gary,
don't bother packing. It's all set.
Did you pack this suitcase yourself, Gary? Is this are the contents inside your contents?
Yeah.
Speedos.
Welsh Speedos.
Planning to smuggle some budgies, are we, sir? Anyway,
what are these Cardiff Speedos doing?
Brownie, I hope you make it back. All right, sir. You got 12 months to figure this thing out. Come on.
Oh my God. Final question: which one of you on the panel would be most clinical for the goal? We talked about this, and it's Lawrence.
I don't know about that. He'll be too busy. He'll be too busy talking about the old days, and then forget to kick the damn ball.
It'd be an offence.
What was the question?
Shoot, pass. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, sliding tackle.
He's running in and out of the box.
You know what? I'm so fucking clinical. I would make Eddie Nketiah the next Lionel Messi.
You know what? They be calling you the new Eddie Nketiah. 2000. That's what they be calling you.
I think Tony would be.
I would turn Gary into the next Tony.
I think Tony would be the most clinical. I think Tony would be most clinical because he's always talking about Arsenal being clinical in front of goal as well, you know. So, yeah. All right. Next port of call for everybody will be the road trip. See, I got it right on Saturday. We'll be back on Sunday, hopefully, talking about Lacazette, right? And all that good stuff. He's going for Leon. All right. You have been watching the Thursday Night Forum on Arsenal Fan Circle. Take care, everybody. We are out of here, and thanks for being here. Slap a like on the way out. Cheers, everybody.